Hello, everyone. Neil from Bookbowl here, and welcome to the Six Figure Sellers Seminar. Now, today we're going to be going over a lot of information from the very beginning of your process on selling through KDP all the way at the end, and throughout we're going to be going over tips, tricks, and some different strategies in order to either make your very first sale or scale up your business and make this a full-time income. Now, before we jump in, you guys need to realize that when you're putting all of this into practice, it's not about making six figures your first month. It's definitely not making six figures your second month. You really have to put all of these pieces together and make sure that everything comes together as one coherent business, which means that the strategies we're going to go over, you need to be able to replicate them, and you need to be able to put up products that people actually want to sell. So over the next hour or two, let's just outline what we're going to be going over. Now, when you first start your KDP business, you're going to have to figure out what do people on the other side of the computer want to buy, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are creating stuff that no one else wants to buy but yourself, you are going to be in for a bad time. So we're going to be going over the research process. We're going to be looking at what people are selling. We're going to be looking at what people are buying. We're going to be going to Amazon back and forth, seeing, hey, does this person have a good process? What does their book look like? What does their cover look like? What does their interior look like? What kind of comments are people leaving? All of these are very important for when you sit down at the computer and figuring out what you want to do. We're going to then move into design, okay? I am not a designer by trade, but I have sold a lot of books through KDP, so we're going to be talking about, principles on what customers want, what customers are looking for, what you can use to stick out in the search results. Now, that means that we are going to be actually creating some covers. Now, again, I am not a designer, but there are covers that I have put up on KDP that sell very regularly, so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about interiors, creating, editing, combining, all sorts of stuff like that. And we're also going to be talking about my absolute favorite topic when it comes to low-content books, which are puzzles and activities. And very important, those are going to be some of the best sellers you will find if you do it right, not only because they are harder to create in the sense that they're not just lined pages, but that you can price them higher. That's going to be very important near the end. We're going to talk about getting in front of the right audience, okay? What keywords should you be using? How should you find those keywords? We're going to go over the entire process by pulling the keywords, front-loading your listings, your title, your subtitle. We're going to walk through the upload process, okay? That goes from finding the keywords, putting in the keywords, coming up with the title, getting your book, what should you be pricing it at, what categories should you put them in, that's a really hard one. And then near the end, we're going to talk about probably the biggest secret weapon that you can use for your KDP account, and that's going to be ads and also dominating the first page. There is a strategy that I've been using for a very long time there, which I think you guys will find very interesting. So before we begin, let's just think about setting realistic goals, okay? When it comes to KDP and building your business, do not sit down and think, I'm going to make $10,000 my first month, okay? You need to be thinking about getting your first book out and getting your first sale. Once you've done that, okay, that's a fairly easy process. It might take a little bit of learning. You might be a beginner at this. You might be a bestseller on KDP already. There's going to be things throughout this seminar for everyone. But set realistic goals. Okay, if you're selling one a day, awesome. If you're not, that should be your first goal. Second goal should probably be, scaling that up a little bit. Maybe getting 5 to 10 sales a day. Right, 5 to 10 sales a day, still going to be bringing a little bit of money into your business. You probably won't be full-time yet. You probably won't be hiring out to other people, bringing on VAs, bringing on employees. But hey, that should be a goal. And then next, scaling that up a little further, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 a day. It really depends on the marketing you do, the strategy you use, and we're going to go over all of that today inside of Bookbowl. So let's jump onto the computer and let's get into this, okay? So I am over here, bookbowl.io. We are going to be coming back to this homepage more than once because there are some free resources here to use throughout this journey. Now, if I'm talking too fast, you guys get stuck on anything, we've probably written about it. You can go up here to blog, So we'll just go ahead and click that. There are a lot of very in-depth articles here about how to build a brand, how to keyword listings. Everything that we talk about, we've probably written about on a surface level. So if anytime you get stuck, just pause this video, go over to the blog, and start looking through here to see if it's been covered more in depth. Let's go ahead, go back to the homepage here, and we will go ahead and log in. So if you don't have an account, which if you're watching this, you already do have an account. So just go ahead up to the right-hand corner and click login. Now, I've already gone ahead and done that right here. This is the page inside of Bookbolt. Now, Bookbolt is split into two different pieces. You have the research portion, which we're going to be going over in depth in a second here. Okay, on the left-hand corner, you can click on research or create. Okay, we're going to start with research because everyone needs to understand that this is where you should be putting in most of your effort. Okay, creating products, awesome, but if you spend 10 hours creating one product and no one else wants to buy it, that's going to be a bit of an issue. So I suggest probably 80 to 90% of the effort should go into figuring out what customers want to buy, so that when you do sit down and create this stuff, you are going to make sure you are getting sales and getting in front of the right audience. So when you first log into Bookbolt, let's go ahead and start the research process here. I have not come up with any pre-made ideas on purpose because I want to show the real research process we're going to go through, and I'm just going to talk about it as we're going through. But when you first log in, first thing you should do is go over to your favorites, okay? Your favorites right here are going to be a way that you can actually save what you find. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these categories I have here. And this is really helpful when you come in to Bookbolt to save all of the ideas so that you can revisit them later. Because I might do research today, find 100, 200 different ideas, but I might not start creating them or getting someone else to create them a week from now, 2 weeks from now. So we really want to make sure that all of these ideas are in the same place. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that, and let's add a category. We'll add a category here, and we will call it seminar. All right, and then we'll click save. And you'll see at the bottom here that it's been saved successfully. Now, if we click into this category, there's no products here, right? There's absolutely nothing here. We are going to fill this up when we find different products that we want to create around. Now, this is what it's going to look like. I already have this favorites category filled out a little bit. You'll have the book, you'll have the title, author, publisher, reviews, all of that in one central location. But we're going to be using this category right here. So when you first log in, make a category for the research for that day or for that topic. Sometimes I'll come in here, this is my test account, but I'll come in here and I will make, a category tree for if I'm specifically researching a type of puzzle that day, Sudoku puzzles, dot to dots. I might come in here and name the category dot to dot ideas, right? I can come back at a different time, a few hours from now, a couple days from now, a month from now, and take a look at that and download the list to my computer so I have it in order to create those products. Now that we've gone ahead and done that, typically the first thing I'll do is I will go to the cloud search, okay? Now let's just talk about this real quick. Gone ahead and clicked on it. The cloud search is going to be a replication of KDP and the best-selling products for that day. Okay, so we have in here a few different options. You can pick the top 100 up to the top 1,000, as well as different categories. We have notebooks, journals, music sheets, calendars, and planners. Now, I know that's not everything, but we're going to go into a process of what I'll usually do. So I'll come in here. I'll usually select maybe top 300. You can do top 500, but I'm not going to be sitting here all day. I'll keep it as notebook. I'll crank the BSR range up. So this is a slider. This is going to show us the top 300 within whatever sales rank range from the best seller in that category up to whatever we drop this at. So I'll usually slide that up a little bit. And then the price range, I'll just keep the same, okay? Because it says 0 to 100. We want to see all of the books, no matter if they are priced super, super low or really, really high. All I want to do is we're gathering ideas. Okay, we're gathering what are people buying, what could we potentially create in order to, one, get some products up on KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, or two, just see what people want so that we have an idea of different things that we can do, okay? So you can enter in a keyword here, but I'm going to keep it blank. I suggest you guys do the same, and I will show you why in a few. So we filled this out. All we've done is change the top sellers. We bumped it up a little bit, bumped the BSR range up a little bit, and click search. So we'll give this a few seconds to bring back the results, and then we will actually just go through and take a look. All right, so the results are back, and at the bottom of my screen, you can see the first few books, but right here at the top, you'll see results data and keyword count. Now, a lot of people don't look at this information, but I want you guys, the first thing I want you guys to do is click these drop-down buttons and actually just take a look, because what it's going to do is it's going to show you the highest price book, the average price, and the average sales rank within these parameters here, okay? Parameters we picked were the top 300 bestsellers in this sales rank range. So basically what it's saying is the average price is almost $6. Okay, that doesn't seem like that much, but that is the average price of these books. And the average sales rank is fairly low. So they're selling. You have also the keyword counts on the right-hand side. You can, jot these down on a notebook or something. But these can sometimes give you an idea of, hey, what else should I be looking for? Okay, I see handwriting. I see students, sketchbook. Sometimes jog some ideas. Japanese, okay? The little number right here is how many times they were used in these bestsellers. Now let's scroll down and actually just take a look. Remember, we're not doing research to see, hey, what exactly should I create? We're just saying what is out there. What might we be able to create in this niche? Is it saturated? I don't know. Are people buying? So if we scroll down, we'll start to see, some very simple but highly popular books, okay? Just a girl who loves anime. And we can take a look at this. We'll see the title. We'll see the reviews, 137 reviews. This one right here has this one has almost 6,000 reviews, okay? Very, very, very popular, very low price. But also a very low BSR. So what we're doing is we're coming down here and we're taking a look, okay? What is actually for sale? Now, when you're doing KDP, there's really two routes that you can take. Okay, there's the really easy notebooks that you can put up that are just lined pages, and then there's a little bit more complicated books. Both techniques definitely work, but today we're going to do two things. One, we're going to try to find an easy niche to go into with an easy interior, because the first thing you should do when you start this business is get up a few of these books, learn the process, learn what you're doing first. But the secret to all of this and the way you make a ton of money doing this is you need to go into niches where it's not as easy as just downloading a line template, putting it up, and making thousands of dollars. Okay, you need to be able to go into niches where it's going to take a little bit of time to create stuff, okay? Because that automatically is going to lower your competition by a ton. No one wants to put in the time or effort, and that is what's going to set you apart. But we'll talk about that later. Right now, we're just trying to get some ideas. So this one right here, okay? It's priced at $4.99. It's selling BSR $2,700, okay? So you'll see two things down here when you're looking at this information. You'll see estimated monthly sales, and you'll see estimated moving average sales. Now let's go into what that means. The estimated monthly sales are going to be based off of the sales rank today, based on this sales rank of 2,700. But you also have the average sales rank of the last 30 days. Now why that's important is it tells you that over the span of a period of time, in this case 30 days, it's consistently selling. So if you see a sales rank of like 2,700, but the average sales rank is 200,000, you know that it sold a ton, maybe right now, maybe yesterday, but it's not a consistent seller. And the way that you want to think about this is you want a bunch of consistent sellers each and every month. That's how you're going to build a sustainable KDP business. Okay? So you'll see right here the estimated moving sales, the average sales here, are based off of this last 30 days. So this book right here, let's just open it up, take a look at it. Doing very well. And look at this cover. All it is a cheetah cover, and it says notebook. Okay, so notebook. leopard print composition notebook, college ruled pages, large 8x5 by 11. Now, just to explain real quick, what you see before the double dots here, okay? This is the title of the book. Now, we're going to go into this when we actually create a listing ourselves, but just so when we're doing the research, you guys understand, you'll have the title of the book, colon, and then all of this is going to be the subtitle of the book, okay? So what the book says on the cover needs to match the title here. That's just something that KDP requires. Now, we can take a look inside. You'll see this look inside button here. I will often open these up and just take a look at them and say, hey, this one has 319 ratings. It's priced really low. Are they offering anything in their book that we might want to take a look at? Okay, so we'll click this notebook preview. First thing, boom, what do I see this notebook belongs to? This is called a cover page, okay? This is one very, very small thing that you can do to stick out when you are selling books. Most people will skip this step. I'm going to show you how to do this in just a little bit once we actually, nail down some ideas. But just this little thing is an easy way to stick out. Scroll down. This is the entire book, line pages, okay? Fairly simple. We can scroll down, we'll see this right here, product details. Now, every time you open up a book on Amazon, I want you guys to scroll down to the product details. It's going to give you some crucial information. One, it's going to tell you the publisher. If you are doing a KDP book, you'll see that it was independently published. Sometimes if you're doing research just directly on Amazon, you'll notice that this publisher actually has a name. Like, it will have, a publishing house as a name. It means it's not a KDP. But if you see independently published, chances are it's KDP. Now, just going back to the book cloud, you'll also see right here the publisher. Okay. You'll also see right here how many pages it is. 110 pages. Okay. Very important. When you're doing low content books, you can do as many pages as you want, pretty much, right? You get up to the hundreds and hundreds of pages, your book costs are going to go up. So when it comes to KDP books, just think about 120 to about 100 pages to about 120 pages. That's average. That's pretty average for a low content book. You'll see the sales rank here, all right? And you'll see right here the dimensions. This will also tell you how big the book is. So if you're doing research and you come across something that's you want to create, okay, we're not copying here, we're creating different stuff. You'll notice this is what sellers want. Clearly they want this because there's 319 reviews. This is an 8x5 by 11 notebook, okay? Now, this is a very, very, very simple notebook, not something that I really want to go into, and it's priced incredibly low, so the margins are pretty much non-existent. I'm just going to close that out, and let's just keep looking, okay? So you have handwriting practice paper. You have, notebook, another handwriting practice paper. Also, something to keep in mind, too, when you're going through, remember, just looking at ideas, you come across this, okay? It says handwriting practice paper. You're like, oh, that's really awesome. You scroll down and you say, all right, the sales rank, very low, getting tons of sales per month. Over the last 30 days, sales rank a little bit higher, but still doing very well. You can actually click on this little button right here. Okay, if you hover over it, it's going to say BSR/price history. Let's go ahead and click that, and it will bring up this graph. It'll show you exactly what this product or this seller has been doing. Now, why is this helpful? It's going to give you an insight sometimes on what the seller has been doing. So you'll notice the price here hasn't changed, right? Hasn't changed at all. But here's how the BSR has changed over time. So you can see this graph, and right off the top of your head, you'll know this is a consistent seller. But when I said you can kind of check on the strategy of the seller, sometimes you'll see this price here. They'll start it really low, and you'll see when they bumped it up. Okay? That's also a method you can do in KDP. But let's just keep scrolling down until we can find an idea. I've used this one many times in the past as an example, but let's just not do that. We just want to see, I'm just looking for what's out there, right? Address book. Address book. This one's priced at $6.99. Fairly simple price, okay, for a low content book. We'll click on that button. We'll see. Okay, this is a great example. They started off this book at $5.99. right? So you can see the sales rank up here wasn't too great, but that's actually a fairly good sales rank for this type of book. They start off at $5.99, okay, in October, $5.99. So they're selling. They're selling. Here's the BSR. They're selling. Every time you see a dip down, that's at least one sale. But if you're consistently staying under like a 12,000 BSR, you're doing very, very well. Finally, they got to about November 23rd. They have a really low sales ranking, and they said, you know what? I'm going to try upping my price. So they bumped the price here to $6.99. So they're earning a higher royalty per sale. And notice what the sales rank did. It went down. They didn't sell for a while, and then it continued going down. So they raised the price. They're making more money per sale. And the trend line here is going down. So the lower the sales rank, the more sales the book is making. So all they did was they changed the price. Awesome strategy. They said, hey, let's see what happens. And it kept selling better and better. So now they're making more money. So let's actually take a look at this book. Okay, $6.99. Average sales rank for the last 30 days is under 6,000. Okay, they're selling hundreds of copies per month. Okay, this is an awesome book. Let's open it up, take a look. All right, so tons of ratings, right? Lots and lots of reviews. Wasn't published that long ago, okay? 2019, it is 2021 right now, but that's a lot of reviews to get in, a year, 2 years. $6.99, awesome price. Look inside, okay? It's got that look inside button, so let's take a look. This is the cover of the book, okay? All it is a picture with a box around it. Any one of you guys can do that. Scroll down and we'll see, all right, there's no cover page. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, if I do an address book, maybe I should do a cover page, okay? And then here is the interior, right? Super, super simple. And what did you just notice here? What the seller did is they took two different interiors and they combined it, right? So they put the address book here, address book, address book, address book, and then it changed to lined pages. Why? I am not really sure. And then they showed the back cover, okay, which is also looks like the same image. But it has a bunch of ratings. We can look at the description here. So address book. Notice how this matches up with this. Organizer and notes with alphabetical tabs, rustic sunflower cover. This is the subtitle, okay? So right off the bat, I'm thinking this is probably a very congested space on KDP. We'll look at here, okay, read more. So they have formatted this fairly well. Very readable. It shows that there's space for 330 entries, alphabetical tabs. Each entry contains all of this, and then there's additional notes pages. Now you'll see that they did 120 pages. Remember, that's 120 pages, very standard. 6x9 size, okay? So again, if we scroll down, we look at that product details, you'll see exactly what they just put in the description. 120 pages. It's a 6x9, okay? BSR today is up a little bit, but there's 609 ratings. Now, okay, we found a product that I know is probably fairly congested with tons of different address books. But let's take a look at the ratings. Sometimes we can figure out what could we change if we were to go into this niche. What are people liking? What are people not liking? Now, if you click on the reviews, you'll see the reviews, right? What I like to do is I don't read the 5-star reviews, okay? I mean, sometimes I will, but pretty much all the 5-star reviews are very happy people. They don't give you a lot of information on what you should do. What you want to do is read the 3 stars down to the 1 stars. So let's just see if there are any 1 stars. No 1 stars, okay? Let's click the 2 stars. All right, here's some 2 stars. Let's read them. I've had this for a few weeks, but just started using it yesterday. Unfortunately, a few sheets have fallen out, and one of the pages is torn in the corner, okay? Is that something that we can control as a KDP seller? No, it's not. Nice size of the soft cover. Love sunflowers and layouts. Think they got it done. All right, that's nothing that we can control. What we're looking for are things that we can actually control. This one, too, says it was damaged when they received it. That's really not helpful for us. Let's look at the 3 stars. It's cute and does the job. I really didn't need it to be quite so large. So what is this person telling you? This person right here is saying they like the product, but they could They wish it was a smaller size. So maybe if we go into the address book niche, we want to create a smaller address book. Okay, fairly simple. This isn't rocket science. So let's go back in here and remember how at the very beginning we created that favorites category. So what we'll want to do is we want to save this one to take a look at it later. We'll just click the heart, save to favorites, and it'll say, hey, where do you want to save it? I want to save it in the seminar and submit it, and boom, it was saved. Okay. Now let's keep going through here and see if we can find anything else. Now I can't read this. Okay, one of the things you want to do when you're looking for ideas, when you're researching, is figure out when you're going through the results, you need to be able to read them. Because when you're going on Amazon and you type in address book, right? This is what the customer's going to do. Let's just go do that right here. Okay, address, if I could spell, address book. This is what the customer's going to do. They're going to pull this up and they're going to scroll. And they're going to scroll about this fast, right? Boom. I can read it. Why does this stick out? Because it's readable. I know this is an address book. It's readable. It's large. This right here, is this readable? I bet you this is a KDP book right here. It's a cool cover. I'll give them that. It says it's a password logbook. Okay, let's just open it up because now I'm curious. That's a great cover, but it says contacts book, password logbook, birthday and anniversary reminder. If I didn't click that, if I just looked at this, I would have no idea what this says, especially if it's in the results. Is that readable to anyone watching this? You probably are straining your eyes right now because the answer, to me at least, is no. Okay? But again, it's a contacts book. So let's just look inside. Okay, awesome cover, but I would make this readable. If this was readable, this product would do a lot better. Okay? And this book belongs to cover page. Okay, awesome cover page. And here you go. This is the interior. Just an address book, fairly simple. And that's it. Okay, so very easy. Just looking at this one, they have 2 ratings, but nothing has left an actual review here. So that's interesting. That's interesting, but not something I think we are going to add. But I just want to show you guys that when you make stuff like this right here, address book, 660 reviews. It's doing great because it's readable and it's very large. Let's go back inside the cloud. We'll just keep looking here. We'll see if anything else pops up to us. Calligraphy and handwriting practice notepad. Okay, $6.99, doing really well. We can click this button. See, look at this. Okay, they priced it at $6.49, kind of a weird price. But they noticed, hey, I'm selling really well. Maybe I'll bump the price. That's exactly what they did, making more money for no more effort. Okay, so maybe we'll add this one. Let's take a look at it. This is a bestseller in airbrush graphic design. Good job, Amazon. That doesn't really make any sense, but we'll take a look. Okay, cover, fairly simple, but look, this is huge. I don't think this is the best font, but it's calligraphy, so it makes sense. Okay, you need to pair your cover with something that makes sense for the niche you're going into. We can scroll down. Okay, cover page. Right, cover page. They put a table of contents in here. So they basically say, hey, look, for the first 40 pages or whatever, it's one kind of paper, and then the next is another kind of paper, and then the next is another kind of paper. So what they're doing is they basically just took 3 different interiors, mashed it up, and boom, new type of book. Okay? Good back cover. So everything looks pretty cool with that one. I like that a lot. But notice, this is really popular. Okay, 548 ratings. So we'll go ahead and we will go back here. And let's just add that, something we can take a look at later. Okay, and here's another address book. Okay, here is a math notebook. It says graph paper, also doing very well. We have hexagonal graph paper composition notebook, organic chemistry. So what is this person doing? Okay, $6.97, weird price. This was published on CreateSpace, so I know that this is an older book because CreateSpace actually merged with KDP a few years ago. Let's take a look at it. We'll open it up. Take a look at it. Organic chemistry is a bestseller, apparently. All right. Look inside. So they have a molecule here. It's a notebook. This book belongs to, again, cover page. Awesome. That's the entire book right here. That is the entire book. Okay? So, that is super interesting. Very, very simple. Scroll down. Let's take a look at the product details. Okay, so this was published a few years ago. 119 pages. Okay? Weird sizing here, 7.44 by 9.69. Doing very well. So that's also something interesting. I'm going to check it out and say, all right, over time, have they changed the price at all? No, but it's been a fairly consistent seller, but it does swing around a lot. Notice, this is 145,000, okay? 282,000, 50,000. So it swings around a lot, but it is consistently selling. We'll go ahead and we'll add that as well. Some more handwriting practice paper. Okay. Let's see. Sketchbook, notebook, hexanote. This one, let's see. Sure, let me drop everything and work on your problem. So sarcastic type of cover here. Interesting. Graph paper. We have Japanese writing paper. Remember, when we're going through, we're just looking for ideas here. Happy Valentine's Day to the coolest teacher. Notice what is right around the corner from when this is happening, when this seminar is being recorded, Valentine's Day. So in this example, we're going to just look for something that is evergreen. When you look at this, there's also different trends, holidays, stuff that you can jump on. Okay, let's see. Graph paper notebook. Very, very simple. Sketchbook. Message of grace. 111 notes of love and guidance from your angels. Okay, just ideas. We're looking for niches here. Nanny daily log. Okay, school counselor. We're just seeing what is available. Checklist notebook. We have a unicorn one here. Okay. Storyboard. Let's actually take a look at this unicorn one. Price fairly low. We'll click this. We'll see. All right. This was a pretty consistent seller. Didn't sell for a while. They didn't change the price at all. Create space. Let's see. Good trouble. I don't know. Wings of Fire sketchbook. Blood pressure journal. Blood pressure journal. Let's look at this. This looks fairly good. Very simple cover, very readable, okay? Doesn't take a rocket scientist to create something like this. So we'll go ahead and look inside, scroll down. Blood pressure logbook, okay? Name, blood type, medication, so on and so forth, with a bunch of notes and reading. So that is pretty cool as well, all right? So we'll go ahead and we will, where does that go? Let's go ahead and add that because it looks like the average sales rank of the last 30 days, not too low, right? It's not selling that many, but, you know, up and down, up and down. It does sell. It's a consistent seller. That's what we're looking for, consistent sellers. We're not looking at the interiors, really. We're not looking at the covers, really. We're looking for what are people buying, okay? So I think we've added a few different types of books here. We found a few interesting niches. Korean writing practice book. You'll notice there's a lot of different writing practice books. Okay, we have an appointment book, cross stitch. We have composition books, math notebooks, birthday reminders. Okay, getting a lot of different ideas here. Okay, so now that we've gone through and we've picked out a few ideas, let's just go over to the favorites and take a look at them, right? If we click on seminar, you'll see address book, calligraphy and handwriting. Right here we have organic chemistry and a blood pressure journal. All right, so now that we have these ideas, let's go to another place to look for ideas. let's go back to bookball.io, the homepage, and I want to show you guys a resource in order to want to get free templates, but also it might be a starting point for your research. So if we go to resources right here, under this dropdown, you'll see the category finder, interior wizard, and a combiner. Click on the interior wizard and then click on this big blue button that will show up. And these are going to be all the different interiors that we have for you guys to use them. Now, if we're going through here, you'll see the typical college ruled journal, music sheets, okay? But we also have others like home to-dos, mood trackers, office organizers. We can come through here and look, roommate agreements, chores, room grids for people trying to plan spaces, all right? Birthday reminders. Remember how we just saw in Book Bolt there was a birthday reminder book? Right here was the way that you could easily create one of those. Okay? Bunch of different birthday reminders. We have body progress trackers, recipe books, hexagonal paper. Okay, so look at this. Okay, notice how it says hexagon paper small or paper large. Hexagon paper. Now, if we go back into the favorites and we open up this book, this organic chemistry book, look at the interior. It's hexagon paper. Okay, so what you can do is go over to that interior generator, and I'll show you how this works, okay? Let's say you're going to create a book. You can come in here, you can pick one of these and say, all right, I want it to have bleed. What was that book? Let's actually find that book again, open it up. This book was a weird size, if I remember correctly. It was. So let's just say we want to do a 6x9, okay? 6x9, say 120 pages. Click on download. This will open up the download for the book. Boom, there's your interior, okay? If you were going to do that. But we are still doing our research, so let's close that out and just keep looking at this. All right, so let's figure out something that we could do here. We have fishing logbook. Remember, I'm just getting ideas that we can search for. We have habit trackers, guitar tabs, interesting weekly meal planners, a coffee journal, handwriting paper. Okay, so if you're going to do one of those, project planners, projects to complete, blood pressure logs. So let's actually go into and look at this. Okay, blood pressure log. What does that relate to? This right here, blood pressure journal. So now that we've got some ideas, let's dig a little bit deeper outside of the cloud search. Let's go to the product search, okay? Now the product search is going to bring back results from KDP in real time so that you can look at what are the best sellers out there, what are people doing. So let's go and take a look at that. So blood pressure logbook. We'll just type in blood pressure logbook and click on search. Now this can take a little bit of time, but let's wait for it to bring back the results because it's going out there, it's looking at Amazon, it's going to bring it all back so that we can take a look at what's selling, what's not selling, how things are selling, what price they're at, and we'll be able to actually make an informed decision. All right, so it's brought back the results, and now it has to go through and actually read through all of these products. So let's give it a few more minutes, but real quick to explain, this is not going to bring back every single book. It's going to bring back the best sellers, okay? So when you see the results here, you'll see, hey, there's about 48 results. It's going through and reading them. Here's the average sales rank, the lowest price, the highest price. This is going to change as it's reading through all of these results, okay? So we'll give it a few seconds here, wait till that's done, and then let's talk about what we're looking at and why it's important. All right, so it's still bringing back a little bit of the results, but I want to go through this with you guys. You'll notice right here the results data. This might be changed as you go through the process as it's bringing back the results here, but let's actually take a look. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see some key pieces of information. One, you're going to have the books that are about what you search for. Remember, we typed in blood pressure logbook, okay? That's what we're looking at. There's going to be low content books, and you'll have the keyword count on the right. Now, why is this important? Because these keywords are the most used keywords in the products that are actively selling. You are going to want to take a look at this box and use these in your research, but also you'll probably want to note down some of these on a sheet of paper, on a notepad somewhere, because when we go and we upload one of these books to KDP, you will want to know what to enter. Now you'll see on the left here, okay, the best sellers from Amazon. You'll see the sales rank. So this one right here, 316 estimated sales, priced at about $6.99, has a ton of reviews, doing awesome, right? This wasn't published very long ago, but what's the first thing that I notice? The cover is simple and it's very easy to read. So let's go ahead and click on this, which will open up a new tab. And we'll be able to actually take a look at all this, okay? So first thing, I want to look inside. This is a great cover, okay? It's huge, easy to read. And then we have right here, looks like a cover page because it's going to tell you, you know, why maintaining a logbook is important. You guys can create all of this, okay? And then right here we have the example, and it looks like the example without anything entered is what the interior of the book is going to look like. So fairly easy, okay? So we'll scroll down. Independently published, okay, awesome. It's a 6x9, selling really, really well. Let's look at the reviews. Remember, I want to see bad reviews. But first, before we do that, I see customer images, and right there, you'll see that is what the interior looks like, not filled out, and this person has filled it out. So let's look at the 1-star review. Nothing. Let's look at the 2-star if there are any. No. 3 stars. No. Okay, so that's really not that helpful, but I do like that product, so I'm going to add it to my favorites so that we can look at that a little bit later. Now, blood pressure notebook. We're scrolling down. We're looking. We have right here, diabetes journal and blood pressure notebook. This one is priced much higher. It's not selling as well, but it is priced higher, so let's take a look at it. 13 reviews. It's priced a little higher. This, not a very good good cover. But hey, you know, that reminds me a little bit of the 90s. But right here, we have a diabetes journal and blood pressure logbook by Francis Robinson. So Francis, if you are watching this, I'm sorry for complaining about your cover. But again, low content book, guys. Okay? This is the back cover. They price it high. This has been out for a very long time. Scroll down. This was put on CreateSpace. Again, remember, CreateSpace merged with KDP. 108 pages, 8.5 by 11. All right, so what are we getting at here? Okay, we're finding out what things are selling at, how many reviews they have. I think I like this niche, okay, because I'm looking at it. I'm saying, you know, these covers really aren't that great. I think I could probably do a better job there. Blood pressure log form, okay. You know, these are just not good covers. Now, I'm not claiming I can do a better one. I probably outsource that since my KDP business does pretty well. But if you guys are just starting, you'll probably want to create them yourself. So you have to be asking in the back of your head, should I create one of these books? Now, at the same time, you'll notice on the right-hand side, there are a bunch of related keywords with numbers next to them. These are going to be keywords that may relate to the niche you just searched. How many people on Amazon are actively searching for these keywords per month? Okay, so are we selling blood pressure monitors? No, we're not. We're selling books. Okay, pills, you'll see lower blood pressure. So right there could be a book about lowering blood pressure. Could that be a low content book? I don't know. I don't have one in that niche. But you'll want to come over here and look and see if there are anything that you could do that might be a low content book that people are actively searching for. Blood pressure optimizer, okay. Blood pressure solution, no. Okay, so I'm not blood pressure checker. That's not what we're selling. So these results right here aren't too useful. So what you'll want to focus on is the left-hand side and the books. Let's look at just one more of these because this is sort of interesting. This book is selling. I'm going to guess not as well as it should be because this is not the greatest cover, okay? But it is a blood pressure logbook cover page, okay? That's what you should be noticing here. And then you'll see, hey, this is the interior throughout. 10 ratings, they look pretty good. Scroll down, look at the product details, 108 pages. Okay, not selling very well right now. Paperback, Interesting. Create Space, so it's an older book. So, okay, I think we've got the point through which we're going through. We're figuring out people actively buy log pressure books. I mean, just look at this one, okay? The sales rank is under 30,000. It's priced middle of the road, has tons of reviews. We just looked at one in the favorites. Okay, so we go to favorites. We'll go to the seminar. Right here, this one's doing well, and this one is doing well. So that is awesome. Okay, so we've gone through, we found a niche. I think we'll probably end up creating one around that niche because in the interior generator here, remember you can get to this from the resources tab on the front page. There is a blood pressure log right here. Okay, and we're going to be using that in just a few. All right, now we found out one idea. These are going to be the simple books that we put up. Okay, so these are going to be simple interiors probably with a cover page. But there's also a different way of doing research. If you don't want to do your research inside of BookBolt, we can do it on Amazon. So let's talk about that next, and let's talk about more complicated books, because when it comes down to it, you'll probably hear me say this more than once, the more complicated a book is, if there is an audience that wants to buy it, is where the main money is. Okay, you'll make more money with more complicated books because you can price higher, and I'm going to show you a method kind of at the end of this seminar that you can use in order to sell a ton of different books. Okay, so let's close out some of these tabs here. So I'm going back in BookBolt, I'm closing out some Amazon tabs. We'll go here, we'll close this, we'll go to Amazon.com. And give me 1 second, I'm going to remove the sidebar here. Okay, so we are on Amazon, and how are we going to do our research on Amazon instead of just typing things into the search bar, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with? I want you to go back inside of BookBolt. Okay, I want you to click on your either in the upper right hand corner menu, which I know you guys cannot see very well, or if you go in the left under research, you'll see something called KDP Spy. Okay, so go ahead and click on that. This is going to be a Chrome extension. Go ahead and add this to your Chrome browser, and this is what we're going to be using in order to do this research. Okay, so add this to your browser, and once you've done that, head over to Amazon.com. Now, when you're on Amazon.com, okay, this is how it works. First, you'll want to do a search. Now, when I said more complicated books do much better, we're going to be talking about puzzle books and activity books. Now, if any of you have ever sat down at a computer and tried to create a puzzle book, so a dot-to-dot book, a Sudoku book, a word search, if you are not familiar with how to use some of these design tools, it's almost impossible, okay? So I am not a designer by any means. Hard to make, would take me days, okay? It either take me days or I just wouldn't be able to do it. So let's go ahead and let's just look up a keyword, and let's just say it is Sudoku books for kids. Okay, so we'll go up here, Sudoku books for kids. Okay, we'll click on search, and it'll bring back the results. Now, what we want to look at, a few things here. We'll notice that it's 1,000 results. There's a lot of these books. Okay, so you'll see Rainboku, fun and colorful Sudoku books for kids. Notice right here, there's a sponsored product. This is a sponsored product, okay? This is the same book as this sponsored product. But what we want to do is we want to look through these and we go, how do we kind of analyze all these results? We just installed KDP Spy, and you'll see in the right-hand corner of your Chrome window a little book icon. And if you click that after you've done a search, so click on the book icon, this little box will pop up. Okay, now the way that you use this is going to read from the page you were on. So go ahead and click on Start. When you click Start, it's going to start going through these pages and bringing back the results. Right here, you'll see 57, 61, 77, all the way up to about 100 results, okay? Once that information is in here, you'll see the ASIN. You'll see the image, which you can hover over, okay? Easy Sudoku for kids, ages 8 through 12. The price, the sales rank, the estimated sales based on the sales rank, the estimated revenue. Okay, revenue is not royalties, it's revenue. the author, when it was published. So what I'll usually do is I'll run this search on something, and I'll just say, you know what, let's rank it by estimated sales. Okay, so 1,000 plus Sudoku puzzles, easy to hard. Mazes for kids. Okay, so mazes aren't Sudoku puzzles. They're going to be taking the keyword that we entered and bringing back everything related to it. So our job is to go through here and look through, you know, can we find a Sudoku puzzle book that's doing fairly well? Okay, mazes, the Super Sudoku book for smart kids. Okay, you'll notice that that one was near the top when we did the results. Price at $7.95. All right, you'll see that this column right here is the revenue, the amount of sales. Okay, so if you scroll up, see sales, revenue. Right here, it's by the Zach guy. It was published about a year ago, and I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. I want to take a look at this book in the future. Click on this. Click on save, and it's going to say, hey, you can save this stuff that you're doing on Amazon inside of BookBolt. So we'll click on the seminar, and it will save it. Done. Now, if we go back inside of BookBolt, we go to our favorites, we click on seminar, you'll notice, there it is, okay? Okay, so now we're on Amazon. We're doing our research here. We're taking a look at these books. This is a puzzle book. We're just getting ideas. What do we want to create? A first Sudoku book, so easy Sudokus. Not really something I want to do, but look, it's selling incredibly well. Okay, doing very, very well. So we can also, remember this book we just looked at? Click on the ASIN, which will open it up. You can see, hey, yep, there's the author. This right here, remember, is the title of the book. For smart kids, collection of over 200 Sudoku puzzles, including all of these that range from easy to hard. Scroll down, look at the product details, okay? So we'll see that, hey, this publisher right here is not a KDP book. Doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. We're doing research on Amazon right now, but it's not a KDP book. You'll see this is an 8x10 and doing incredibly well. Let's go back here. Let's keep looking at the results, see what we can find. Now, I know there are tons and tons and tons of results on Amazon. There's over 1,000 of these Sudoku books for kids, right? There's a reason why it's not going to matter too much. We'll get into that in a bit. But the ultimate puzzle book for kids, okay? We can click on this ASIN, bring it over. Notice the pricing on these. They're higher than the easy lined pages or blood pressure journals. They're a lot higher. And this includes Sudokus, mazes, crosswords, and more. So great cover. Why? It's big. It's readable. Scroll down. They have some contents. Okay, and I don't know if that's brain games. Okay, you have some. So they spent a little bit more time on this. That's important. Scroll down from the publisher. So this is going to be a different publisher, not KDP. That's fine. We're just getting ideas here. Okay, so let's close these out. Keep looking through KDP Spy. Crossword puzzles for clever kids. Okay. Crossword puzzles. That's a different one. It's not exactly what we looked at. But again, priced a little bit higher. Tons of reviews. We scroll down. Publisher, different publisher. You'll notice a lot of these have been around for a while. Totally fine. Still looking, still looking. Okay, a first Sudoku for kids. So that's a super, super easy one. The toughest Sudoku book. Notice how these are all selling. They're all selling. Mini Sudoku for kids, Sudoku for kids, right? So let's take a look at this one. Okay, good cover, very good cover. Simple, huge lettering, easy to read. Basically gives you a tutorial on how to use Sudokus, and then there you go, right? That's the book. That's the entire book. All they did was they added a tutorial at the beginning. Scroll down. Okay, independently published. Okay, good sign, 8.5 by 11. So I'm really liking this niche as well. Now, let's actually go and look at one more thing. Okay, so let me close out some of these tabs. I'm just gathering ideas here. We can look at the keywords, okay? It's going to go through and it's going to search these different keywords, Sudoku puzzles for kids. Here are different keywords that we could use. So we can do this right here. and sort this list, okay? So Sudoku puzzle books, easy kids. We have different ones, Sudoku for kids 6x8. So you can come through here and get a ton of different ideas of, hey, what are people actively searching for on Amazon? Sudoku books for adults. Okay, Sudoku for kids. 1,000 people are searching for that. So I can click that. It'll load it in the background here. Sudoku for kids. Okay. And we can just take a look at what's ranking. Click on search. Here they are. Okay, this is what's ranking. Notice right off the bat, what do you notice? I see some sponsored ads, 3 sponsored ads, and I see they all have reviews. Okay? If you just scroll down this page, you're going to notice that these things sell incredibly well. And you might be sitting back and going, there's no way that I can compete with 200 reviews. Okay? There's no way I can compete with 92 reviews. No way I can compete with 295. But you can, okay? Because there's not as much competition here. But you can also niche this down. Notice there's 50,000 results. You can say Sudoku puzzles for kids ages, 6x8, 6 to 8, 9,000 results. Okay, maybe you could do easy Sudoku puzzle for kids. Now I know this is a method that some people like to do. Okay, so let's just go back to Amazon proper. Just to give you an example, if we just type in coloring book for adults, you'll notice 50,000 results. Right? These books. I mean, look at this. 9,000 reviews, 5,000 reviews. These are insane. These do very, very, very well. But there's 50,000 results. Like one time, how are we going to compete with that? Well, we can start niching this down as well. There's another method that I like to use. Instead of just coloring books for adults, we could just say, whale coloring book for adults. Now we're down to 1,000. We could try, I don't know, bird. 2,000 here. We could do, 2,000 really isn't that bad. Now, sometimes I'll play around with this until I can see something that's maybe under 1,000 results. So if we did, what's like a, cow coloring book for adults, 5,000 results for cow coloring books. Cow coloring book for adults, color by number. Maybe you could do that. 511 results. Okay. Country farm scenes coloring book. Really simple stuff. I don't use this method all the time, and I'll show you why once we get to the end of the seminar, because what I like to do is a specific method in order to run ads in order to get the most sales possible profitably. Okay, so I don't always look at that, but that's something that you can do, is play around with the number of results until you find something that people are actively buying. Okay, and also is priced competitively. So let's go back to the favorites inside of Book Bolt. Take a look at what we found. Seminar, we are going to be doing 2 books. So we found a bunch of ideas. This is kind of the process. We found a blood pressure journal. 2 of these selling very, very well. A simple type of book. Okay, we found that people actively buy them. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for, hey, it's got so much competition, yada, yada, yada. People actively buy these books, so I want to be able to get into that niche. And we found one right here, the Super Sudoku book for smart kids. It's a harder type of book to produce. But, okay, now we're going to kind of switch gears. We found 2 different niches, Sudoku books, okay, and we log books here. Remember when we did this, we also found that there was some activity books. I think that might be what we create to differentiate ourselves just a little bit. But now let's talk about design. Okay, so we need to design some covers and put a book together. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to talk about the covers themselves. Okay, in order to create a cover, you want to go to Research here, click Create, and then you'll want to click on the Book Bolt Designer. Now, the designer is going to be a web-based tool that anyone can use to create book covers. Remember, again, I am not a designer. I can barely drag and drop. but dragging and dropping as well as typing is the only thing that you need to know in order to create this stuff. So go ahead and click it, and it will open up the book Bolt Designer. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? First, we need to fill out some of this information. We'll go over cover or interior. You can create either or, but we're talking about covers here. So we're going to do a cover. Trim size. These are all the trim sizes that KDP offers. So let's start with the blood pressure logbook. Okay. We'll take a look at these. Let's open these up and look at them on Amazon. I'm trying to decide what trim size, how big should I make this book? So we're going to look at this one, 34 ratings. Look at this one, 208 ratings. How big are the books that are actively selling? Because we can copy how big the book is. That's not a problem. 6x9. Okay, we'll look at this one. 6x9. So what does that tell us? That tells us we're not copying the book itself. We're not copying the cover. What we're doing is we're saying, hey, people want to buy blood pressure notebooks, and it just so happens they really like the 6x9 size. No one's really complaining about that. So that's what we want to do, 6x9. Now we need to select a paper color, okay? Now when you're selecting a paper color, you want to change this. If you're doing colored pages on KDP, the price per book is going to be so high, you probably won't make a profit. You can do white or cream. I'm just going to do white. And for the page count, you need to pick a amount of pages that you want to create. Okay? So let's take a look at these. This one is 53 pages. Not very many. This one is 60 pages. Again, not very many. Typically about 100 to 120. We can look inside. We can say, all right, these are the pages. So in order to make my book maybe a little bit better, I'm just going to add more pages. I'm going to do 101 pages. And why am I doing 101 instead of 100? Because I'm going to create a cover page like we saw when we were doing our research process. Okay? This page count is going to need to match up with how many pages are in your interior. The reason for that is the page count is going to change how big the spine is on the book. So just imagine for a second you have a 1,000-page book. The spine is going to be way bigger than if your book was 10 pages, 20 pages, 30 pages, right? So this is very important that this is going to match up with the interior of the book. So once we've picked this, we have a cover, 6x9 white paper, 101 pages. We'll click submit, and we'll let this come back, and it's basically doing all the math to make sure that the size is correct. All right, now that it's come back and it has the left side and the right side. Now this is going to be the cover of your book. The cover is going to be on the right, the spine is in the middle, and the back cover is on the left. Now you'll notice this kind of pinkish area around the border. You don't want to have any text inside of this area. Why? Because that is going to be the area where KDP will cut your book. So anything that is in this area could possibly be cut off when they are creating the actual book. So now that we have this, let's actually create the cover itself. Now we can change the product color here. I usually like to go with a darker color. We can change this to see what it would look like with different colors. Now, the designer is fairly easy to use, okay? So you have text here, images. If we wanted to upload something, you see I've already uploaded a few things. You know, if I wanted to put a flower on, I could do that. Drag it wherever you want. You can click, you can upload. So this is a very simple process. But let's look at what is actively selling. This right here, very simple, okay? Some text with a graphic. This one, let's close this out. Just text with maybe a heart, okay? Blood pressure log book. So let's just do something very, very easy. We'll go into the designer here, and let's add some text. Now, the text, you have a bunch of different text options right here. You have all of these fonts. You can load 1,000 of these, or you can upload your own. If you do upload your own, make sure to read the small text down here that says what format they need to be on. But we can load more fonts here. Okay, we can just look through all these and say, hey, which one do we want to add? Okay, we want something big. We want something readable. Now, these are all Google fonts, so these are free for commercial use, so you can use them on the cover of your book without any problem at all. Okay, so I'm just looking through here. I'm saying, hey, what do we have that looks interesting? Now, this one, not too bad. Carter 1. So we click the plus, it adds it, and you'll see over here it has added it. So all you have to do is click on it, and then you can edit the text either by double-clicking or clicking right here in the top menu, edit text. So what we're going to do is just say, what does this one say? Blood pressure logbook. So let's kind of go off of this and just make ours look different. Okay, so blood pressure, if I could spell. Okay, blood pressure journal. This one's calling it a blood pressure logbook. So we could do a spin on either. Blood pressure. Now, how do we, that looks horrible, right? Not readable. We can click on it, and then we can click in the right-hand corner, the fill options. This is going to allow us to pick whatever color we want. I'm just going to go with white, all right? So we'll go with white. I've already selected it, so that's all you have to do. And I can just blow this up. So nice, big, and readable. So blood pressure. I can click another layer. We'll say this one says, I'll just double click that one, log. Okay, make this nice and big. Now see these lines here. This is going to help you line things up. How do I get that? If you select nothing, okay, nothing is selected. In the upper right hand corner, I know you can't see it on my screen, it'll say auto snap. Make sure to turn that on. But I've turned that on, right? So you'll see the line lines up right in the middle, log. I'm going to make it white. I'm going to add one more. Okay. Make it a little smaller. Book. Okay. We'll make that a little bigger. White. All right. Blood pressure logbook. Okay. Notice how this is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. It's bigger than this. This one has a cool graphic on it. This one has logbook with, some color on it. So now I'm thinking to myself, all right, maybe I should add like a heart, right? Like a human heart. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm looking for graphics, okay, is either one, outsource them to have someone draw something up, or I like to use this website called openclipart.org. Okay, so let me just bring that over to this tab. This is openclipart.org. I've already gone ahead and searched for human heart. But if you land on the homepage, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so this website has been around forever. They have hundreds of thousands of clip art that you can use. But in order to make sure that you can actively use this on your products, you'll want to come down, okay, to the very bottom and click on license. Okay, read through this. Okay, this is going to tell you if you can or cannot use this. Make sure you're looking at the license on any page you're pulling artwork from. We'll scroll down. Licensing. Can I use clip arts for commercial use? Okay, that's what we want to know. Can we sell this stuff on our cover on Kindle Direct Publishing? So just reading it, we try to make it clear that you may use all clip art from this website. For unlimited commercial use, we believe that giving away our images is a great way to share. Okay, that means you may use the clip art commercially, for education, for church, for school, for your job, or even manufacture products globally. That is what we're doing. We're selling these products globally. So that is all good to go. So we're just looking for a heart here, okay? So we have this cool image. These are all, I just searched for human heart at the top. We're just looking for something to bring in that might work, okay? I really like that first image. There's 4 pages of this stuff, so let's just kind of look through them. Okay, none of those would really work too well. These are all clip art that you can use. Okay. Interesting. This might work. Okay, you could do something like this. So I can open that up. We can take a look at this. I like the very first one. Let's go back to the first page. Boom, ba-doom. This one, I like that, so we'll click on it, okay? So we can save these as SVGs or PNGs. I'm gonna go ahead and save this as a medium file here, okay? So we'll go ahead and we will save that. And we'll go ahead and save this one as well, and we'll just see what it looks like. All right, so now that I've saved these to my computer, I'll go ahead and close that bottom bar. Let's go back inside of the designer. We'll go to images, and all we have to do is drag them and drop them right there, and boom, they're uploaded, okay? So let's add this, and all of a sudden, we notice that this one has a background on it. So how do we remove that horrible white background? We'll come up to the top, okay, so select the layer. So let's put it on the back just so you can see it, okay? Select it, and then up at the top, you want to click Remove Background. And what kind of background is the back? Is the color, okay? It's a light background, so we'll just slide this up a little bit and drop it, and right there, it just automatically will remove the background for you, okay? So now, we have the, boom, okay? Centered it up. Maybe I make it a little smaller. Here we go. Okay, so now we have another image. Maybe I want to put it on the back. Maybe I want to put it on the cover. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't know. We could do something like that where we do this. Okay, maybe we want to make this white. So blood pressure logbook. Okay, maybe when we want to put this little heart inside of there. Boom. Okay, blood pressure logbook. Super simple. That is not complicated. Okay, it's huge. It's readable. I think it's good to go. It's 101 pages. So now all you have to do is go to download at the very top. It's going to prepare this for uploading to KDP. It says, hey, your design is ready. We'll click on download, and then that is the cover. Okay, so we can go ahead and save this to the computer. All right, so we've gone ahead and saved it to the computer here. Now, something else that we could do is let's just take one more stab at this same cover. Okay, so how would I make this a little bit different? Let's go ahead and delete these. And we'll delete this, and we'll delete this, and we'll delete this. And we think to ourselves, okay, how do we make a cover here that actually would be a little different? So we're going to add that same image, okay? We're going to remove the background. Boom, background removed. Okay, and let's just say I could put this up here. I placed it. And let's just say we want to do a pattern of these hearts. So we'll put it up here. In the top menu, right next to the paint bucket, you'll see patterns. Okay, and then we can say, hey, maybe we should do vertical bricks. Boom. Okay. I don't know if I like that very much. But, I don't know. I'm going to reset that design, okay? We'll come back here. We'll do images again. We'll put that heart there. Remove the background quick. Okay, we'll make this. Boom, we'll put that up there. And we'll do this. And let's just say maybe we could do a grid repeat. Boom. That doesn't look too bad. Okay. Now we need a square to put the name. So what I'll do is I'll go to shapes. I'll put this square over here. Okay. And I'm just going to make something where I can actually put a name inside of it. Okay, so we can just do that. We can make this a little bigger. And this can be the title of the book. We can put it at the very top if we wanted, so everything else is readable. Put it here. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll just put it there. Okay, you can change the color of these shapes at the very top here. Maybe we want to make this too similar. Maybe something like that. Okay, not too bad. And then we'll just put the text over the top of it. We can use the same text we were using. Just say blood pressure. Okay, move that to the center. Actually, we didn't center the whole box. We'll put it here. We'll make this white. Okay, we'll blow this up a little bit. Blood pressure. Okay, log. Make that white as well. Boom. And then one more just to say book. Okay, we'll make that white. Something like that. Okay? Not hard. Not hard. So if we went with something like that, maybe I'd make spend a little bit more time on this. But hey, that looks okay. We can click on download. Okay, it's preparing the book. It's doing all the calculations. And it's ready to download. So we'll click on download. Okay, so both of those books are saved. Now, that is just one piece of the puzzle, right? So I'm closing out some tabs over here. Okay, we've created some covers. Now let's talk about creating the interior. I really want you guys to, before we move on to the interior here, look at these covers, okay? Think about the good enough principle. These, you don't have to spend too much time creating these. They just need to, one, stick out in the search results, and two, they need to be good enough. When I say good enough, when people are going to Amazon and looking for low content books, they're not looking for a work of art. Okay, they're looking for something that gets the job done. Okay, we created two of those. You saw both of those books here. Now let's talk about the interior for this particular one. So if you go back to the homepage of Bookbolt, okay, again, this is the homepage. You want to go to resources, click on Interior Wizard, and this is how we're going to get free, easy to use interiors. Click on the big blue button, and we're going to scroll down until we find that blood pressure book. Okay, it was somewhere down here. Handwriting, here it is, blood pressure log. Now remember, we set the cover up inside of the designer as 101 pages. We did that because we're going to be creating a cover page for this book. So we're in here. Remember, again, we did a 6x9, so these need to match. So click 6x9, click on bleed, click 100 pages, not 101 because we're going to be creating that extra page. You want to click the logbook that you want to download and click download. Okay? This is going to open up a new page. You'll see right here, this is the blood pressure log with a bunch of different spots for the user to type in. So we'll go ahead. We have this. Save this to your computer. All right, so we've downloaded that. We have both pieces of the puzzle. We have the interior page right here that we just downloaded, 6x9, 100 pages. And we have created, inside of the designer right here, we created two variations of the cover of the book. So right there, we are ready to upload something. But speaking of pieces of the puzzle, I want to talk about creating these other books that are harder to create. Okay, so because creating these books with these pre-made interiors, very easy, very simple. But most of the money, I'm telling you guys, is in the books that take a lot longer to create or more complicated. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let's go ahead, let's go back in. I'm going to close these out. We're going to go back inside of Bookbolt here, and under the Create tab, remember there's the Research tab. We went through some of this. We want to go to the Create tab, and we want to go to Puzzle Whiz. Okay, now I've already opened up Puzzle Whiz right here. You'll land here, you'll see these are the tutorial pages. Now you have a bunch of different type of puzzles to create. Inside of the favorites, remember, we came up with this one, the Super Sudoku book for smart kids. This one's going over just Sudokus, but just thinking about it, if you created activity books that include Sudokus for kids, you're getting a little bit more complicated, and it's something that you can create. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back inside of Puzzle Whiz and talk about Sudoku. So Sudoku is one of the ones where you don't actually have to fill anything out. Go ahead and click it. There's just some options here. Okay, so bleed or no bleed. I always keep this at bleed. The size needs to match your cover. Okay, we haven't created a cover yet. We probably won't for this example, but you want to go through the exact same process that we just did and create a cover. Make sure it's a good cover. But if you're going to do a 6x9, click on 6x9. Paging style, double-sided, single-sided. I like to keep it at double-sided. How many Sudoku pages do you want? Do you want just one Sudoku page? Do you want 100? Okay, you want to fill it out. I'm going to keep this at 1 just so it's fairly simple. I can show you what it looks like. Then you have fonts, and this is an example of what the fonts look like. All of these fonts right here are Google fonts. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You can come in here, you can see what they look like. Now, one trick that I like to do is if you don't know and you don't want to go through each one of these, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what this font looks like. You can come up here, open up a new tab, and type in Google Fonts. So searching for Google Fonts, the first one, Google Fonts, browse fonts, you can come in here and see exactly what they look like. Okay, so Oswald looks like this. So if we go back inside of Puzzle Whiz, click this, type in Oswald, there it is, boom, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, fairly simple. So you just want to browse through Google Fonts so you don't have to click through each individual drop-down menu. Next, you need to pick difficulty. Very easy, easy, normal, medium, or hard. I'm going to go with very easy because these are going to be for kids in this particular example. Okay, in Sudoku type 9x9 or 16x19. This is going to depend on the size of the book. Okay. Finally, you need to either select these or don't select these. Should they have page numbers? I'm doing one page, so I'm not going to do page numbers because we're going to be combining different puzzle types. Should you include the solutions? Okay, for kids, maybe you should include the solutions. Matching puzzles and solution page numbers. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave that off. And then all you have to do is click submit. Now it's going to say, hey, your document's being processed. Please give it a second. So we'll wait just a few seconds here. Boom, there you go. Download your last document. You can click on that. And right here are the easy Sudoku pages. Okay, so you'll have this page. This is the one Sudoku page that we picked. You'll have a solutions page, and then here are the solutions to the puzzle. So we can go ahead and we'll download that to our computer as well. So when it comes to KDP, you need to make sure that you're doing more than 3 pages, right? We're trying to create a book here. And in this case, we're doing an activity book, which means more than one type of puzzle. So there are a few in here like Sudokus. Okay, if you click on mazes, okay, same sort of thing. Picking some sizes, 6x9, bleed, double-sided, maybe 1 page. Remember, we did an Oswald font. Boom. We can click submit. It's going to say, hey, your document's being processed. Please wait. And there you go. Download your last document. And here's the 6x9 puzzle page. All right, so we can go ahead and download that too. Okay, so now that we have a puzzle page for mazes, we'll go back in here. Now, some of these, like word searches, okay, they're going to require you to fill out an example file, okay? You can download this example file on your computer, open it up, and see how it's formatted, and then you can fill out your own information, save that, and then re-upload it by clicking Select File. Okay, it's fairly simple. But let's see, we've done a Sudoku, we've done a maze. Let's do a connect the dots, because if you are doing your research, okay, connect the dots is huge. Okay, let me just show you guys by going to Amazon.com. Dot to dot puzzle book. All right, look at this one. Dot to dot books for kids. 979 reviews, and it's priced higher. Okay, this is a sponsored result. So we can look inside, and let's get, these are pretty simple, okay, dot to dots, but if we go through here, let's go back and just start looking down the list. You know, here's one for adults. This also has a look inside, okay, doesn't really show, but here you can sort of see there are a lot of different dots. So how do you create one of these, right? That's going to be fairly hard to do. Not so if you are using Puzzle Whiz. So you'll click on connect the dots. Again, bleed, no bleed. I'm going to do 6x9. Okay. Now all you have to do is select an image. It's going to export as a PDF. So what the images need to be, PNG files. So let me go ahead and upload one of those. Why not? And this is what it will look like. Okay. Okay. So you have this big file here. So what do you do? Okay. You can pick a color. I'm actually going to change this to red. Okay. Now, all you have to do once you upload the file is just click on it. Boom. You can drag these around. You can just come in here and click around the entire file. All right, so I'm going to do this fairly quickly, okay? But, you know, just to make it simple. Now, what you would want to do is you want to actually reposition all these dots so they look perfect. All right, so we've just done the outline. We haven't done any of the text. We could do the text, but all we have to do is go through, click submit. Okay, it's going to go through and it's going to create that 6x9 file for us. Download your last document, and right there we have the document. Okay, now something that I actually forgot to do is let's go back inside of dot to dots. Let's pick that same file. When you're going through here, remember I changed the color to red just so I could see it. What you'll want to do is if you add a bunch of dots here at the very end before you click on download, change this back to black. Okay, because when you printing, you want black scale, grayscale. You don't want to have a bunch of color in there, so they charge you a ton of money for it. Now, I just went through fairly quickly and created something like this. If I were going through and doing this for real, I would do the entire part, the outline, the inside, the eyes, the coffee cup, the text. We're creating these types of books so that we can put them up in activity book format, okay? Let me go ahead and just download this as an example, but keep in mind when you're doing this yourself, take your time, change this to black, do the entire picture. You can use whatever PNG you want. You're just creating all these different types of puzzles that you can put together that would be interesting for kids. So let me go ahead and save this and we'll keep going. All right, so we have all of that saved. You can come through here and do all types of books, okay? But you don't want to watch me create that all day long. So finally, let's talk about two important pieces. One, the cover page. Remember that page that we talked about that we saw pop up in some books? And two, making sure that cover page actually works for you. Okay, so you could go in, I'm going to close some of this stuff out. You could go into the designer here and you could go to product and change the product, but really you're going to have a bunch of pages in here. Okay, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you a quick hack in order to use a free tool in order to create just your cover page. Okay, so it's called Google Slides. If you just Google Slides, you'll see this. You'll see blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we'll open up a Google Slides here. We are inside of Google Slides. It's basically PowerPoint, but free, okay? This right here is not a 6x9 book. So how on earth are we going to create a cover page that will go with the interior we've already used? Easy. We'll go up to the top, click on File, okay? Page Setup. Now you'll see this thing come up. Change it to custom, and all you want to do is click 6x9. You can change this to whatever you are doing, whatever size you're creating. This is going to be your interior. We're doing a 6x9, so that's what I put in there. Click apply, and I can just come in here and delete these text boxes. Okay, boom, boom. All right, so we now have our 6x9 in here, and we need to think of what kind of cover page should we use. Okay, it's going to be different for each book you do. For example, if we're doing the blood pressure logbook, okay, we might say something like, we'll add some text. You can come up here, add a text box. This blood, if I could spell today, this blood pressure book belongs to, okay, something like that. We can change again. More fonts. What was that other one we used? Oswald. Okay. Boom. Make this bigger. Actually, make this bigger by doing this. All right. We could do something like that. You know, we could put a line in here. You know, setting this up really isn't that hard. So you could do whatever you wanted to make something that looks like that. This book belongs to, okay, simple cover pages. Now, what is the trick in order to make sure that, hey, you sold a book, you got a book online, it's selling. How do we make sure that if we put this book online, they come back and they purchase more books from us? Okay, so this is something that I like to do if I'm pushing more than one book in a niche. So let's go ahead, open up one of those favorites that we had. Hey, one of these. I'm going to open this book up, and I'm just going to pretend for a minute that this is my book. It's not, okay? But let's just say I'm publishing all of my blood pressure logbooks under this brand name. You already have one open. So you'll want to go to your book, open up your brand name. So we'll go ahead and click on this. So we'll visit their page, and you'll see they have a blood pressure book, a journal, a logbook, a journal. So that's basically all they publish. This is perfect. If you were this person, this is what you'd want to do. You'd want to open up your brand page. You want to copy the URL. Okay? That's all you want to do. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a QR code on this page. So imagine for a second someone has bought your blood pressure book. They open it up. They fill all the information out. You know, they love the book. Every time they open it up, they're going to see this cover page. And this cover page is going to say something like, let's put a text box here again. And let's just say, put this here. And we'll say something along the lines of, you know, if you need another book, or for more blood pressure notebooks, please visit the above page. You know, you'd want to make this a little bit more salesy. We'll center this text. We will change this text to Oswald. Actually, I need to highlight it. Okay, boom. We'll make this text a little bigger. Okay, so for more blood pressure notebooks, please visit the above page. I have no idea why I capitalize that stuff. Please visit the above page. A QR code is simply something that anyone can scan with their phone, and it'll automatically go to the page. Okay, so going back to the example on Amazon, you want to copy the URL and then just Google free QR code generator. Okay, so this is the first one I saw. It's called qrcode-monkey.com. You can use any of these, okay? And it's just going to say, hey, enter your URL, okay? I'm just going to enter in the page for your book. Your book is not going to be this URL. It's going to be a different URL. Your brand page. This is telling the customer, hey, if you want to buy more stuff from me and not everyone else on the internet, just scan this QR code, and all of a sudden they're brought to the page where the only books on that page are your books. I'm telling you guys, this works awesome, okay? So we will, you can set colors in here, single color, a gradient. We're just going to do a single color, okay? We entered the content as this URL, generate QR code, boom, download PNG. Your QR code is being generated. Please do not refresh or close the window. So right now it's creating the QR code that we're going to add to that cover page. Boom, it's done. It's downloaded. So if we open this up, I'm going to bring it so you guys can see it. This is what it looks like. Okay, so if someone scans this with their phone, they're going to automatically be brought to this page. And the only books on this page, as you can see, are from this seller. You want to do that for your books. So now all we need to do is go back over to our cover page here. Okay, we want to go to insert an image, and we want to upload it from the computer. Okay, we'll make it smaller. There you go. That right there is so simple, and I'm telling you guys, it works. So we'll just go File. Okay, we need to download this as a PDF. Remember, PDFs are what KDP runs on. So we'll download it as a PDF. And this is what it looks like, right? Perfect. Perfect. So I'm going to put that on my desktop so we have all the pieces together. We'll call this cover page. All right, now you're thinking to yourself, okay, now we have all the pieces of the puzzle. We've created the cover, okay? So let me just open that up so you guys can see it. Here's one cover, and here's the second cover. Both very simple designs, both very big and in your face. That's what we want. Okay, we've downloaded the interior. Okay, so this is what the interior looks like. And we have the blood pressure, book belongs to page, the cover page. We have all the pieces. Now we need to combine them, because when you upload to KDP, you upload one interior page. Okay, so how do we combine them? we go back to Bookbowl, and we go to Resources, the Interior PDF Combiner. Now, if you guys are using this, you can add as many pages as you want, and when you click the plus button, these are going to be all of the pages that we currently offer, to our users. This is really helpful if you're doing multiple different pages, okay? But for the blood pressure book, remember we have one interior, which is, 100 pages, and then we have the cover page. If you're doing that, you want to use a different tool, probably a free one. So just open up a new tab and Google PDF Combiner. Okay, so the one I like to use is called combinepdf.com. If you're doing this, just click on Upload Files. So I'll go ahead and do that. All right, so you see I have uploaded both of these files, okay? Right here you have the cover page. Right here you have the 100-page interior. And all you do is click Combine, and boom, right there you have the entire book. So first page, second page, third page, all the way down, right? So that's really easy if you are combining a full interior with just a cover page. However, if you are using, if we go back here to the interior generator, if you're using lots of different pages, okay, you'll want to use this. So for example, let's go back. We're switching gears a little bit here to our interior for our Sudoku book or our puzzle book. We created those different interiors in Puzzlewiz. So I want to go to the upload screen. Okay. Now I just have a few of them here. We're going to select them, drag them, drop them in here. You'll want to wait for these to upload until you see this check mark. Okay. Check mark, check mark. Those means it's been uploaded. So to create one of those, you'll want to come over here. And you can see if you click these, all of a sudden there's different pages. So we could put, a maze on the first page. You could come down here and say, all right, here's the Sudoku book. Okay. Here's the first one. Maybe we can add the solutions page next, then the actual solutions, then this page, and finally you could finish it up with, this page. Now, we only created a few different puzzles, but you can come in here and add as many different pages as you want. This is how people create, half of the book is a journal, half of the book is, music sheets, so on and so forth. Again, pick bleed, pick the size of the book, and then just click download, and we'll just open it up and you'll see, hey, first page, second page, solutions. This is exactly what we just picked. This is how you combine all of them into one file. Okay, so very, very easy. Now let me just save this on my computer so we have both of the files. We have the combined PDF. Okay, we'll close this out. We will close this. Again, creating this cover page, huge. It's huge. All right. Now let's just close this out. Close this out. This one's called QR code-monkey if you guys want to actually create this stuff and add it to your cover page. All right, so I'm closing all of these things out. Now we are back inside of Bookbowl. We have all of the pieces of the puzzle. Let's talk about putting them together. Okay, so now we're going to talk about keywords. Blood pressure journal, blood pressure logbook. I'm going to open these up, okay, because these are the ones that we saved inside of our favorites inside of Bookbowl. This is part of the process, guys. This part is really, really important because now that we've created the book, we know people want to buy these types of books. We need to make sure that these books get in front of the right audience, and all of it comes down to making sure everything is keyworded and optimized properly. Okay? So in order to do that, we're going to take a 2 or 3 step approach. 1, we're going to go to the product search, blood pressure journal. Okay? I'm going to head over here. We already looked up logbook, right? So I'm just going to go through here, and these are the ones that are actively selling. We've opened this one up. We're going to open this one up. Blood pressure log form. Open this one up. These are actively selling. They might not be selling the best, but they're selling. They're getting in front of the right audience, okay? So what I'll do is I'll open all of these up. Next, I want to look at these keyword counts, okay? So we have blood pressure, logbook, daily recording, readings, sugar, heart monitor, notes. So let's just go ahead and open up a notepad. All right, so I've gone ahead, I've done that. Here it is. And I'm just going to start writing some of this down. So we have blood pressure logbook, daily record. So daily record readings. We have, what else do we have here? Monitor, track. You'll see that it's going in the background and it's actually picking up, more of these results. Monitor, track. I'm just writing down different keywords. Now, these are the keywords you want to write down for books that are actively selling, okay? I've also opened up a bunch of them. So now we'll come in here and we'll pick out keywords from the bestsellers that are not just used over and over and over again. So again, here is my notepad. It's going to be off to the side. We want to look at the title of the book, Blood Pressure Logbook, okay? We already have that on our title, so we're going to be using the exact same title. But here is the, right after the colon, you'll notice the subtitle. So it says record, okay? So we have record up there. We just want to note these down. For 1 full year, keep track of BP and pulse, okay? So I'm going to add another line, track blood pressure and pulse. I don't know if our interior has pulse. We'll definitely want to double check that. With space for notes, okay? Notes, let's just add that down. We've taken a look at the title and the subtitle. Now we want to go and we want to look at the description. Now, the description doesn't necessarily help these books rank on Amazon, but they do help the book rank on Google. So we want to take a look at this as well. So we have blood pressure logbook. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and add that because I know it's in our title, but I'm going to add that to the list. Keep track of your blood pressure and pulse over a full year, small enough to bring with you to your doctor's appointments. Doctor's appointments. Let's see. Symptoms, issues, or questions. Symptoms, issues, questions. What am I doing? I'm taking some of the best sellers that we found, and I'm just pulling out keywords because we're going to take a look and see what can we fit into our book. All right, so that all looks good. That's that one. Okay, moving on. Blood pressure logbook. Pulse. Record and monitor blood pressure at home. We have track blood pressure and pulse. I'm going to add record and monitor. Okay. At home. We don't have at home. Chances are, when people are buying these books, they're looking to do it at home. If they were going to the doctor every day, they wouldn't be buying one of these books. Okay? Fairly straightforward. So, let's take a look. Here, purchase today as a gift for yourself or your loved one. Wow, that sounds like a KDP seller if I've ever read anything. Record your daily blood pressure and heart rate. Okay, let's just add this here. Daily blood pressure, heart rate. Notice here I'm not adding like specific keywords because I'm going to blend all of these keywords into something readable for our own book. Okay, so this one says 6x9 logbook for monitoring blood pressure. Includes a category chart. Basically, what is in the book. It's a very, very simple title. Okay, simple sometimes does a lot better than keyword stuff. You want something to be readable. Moving on to this one. Are we doing a diabetes journal? No, we're just doing a blood pressure logbook. Monitor blood sugar and blood pressure levels in a handy fill-in-the-blank book. Okay, fill in the blank book. Fill in the blank book. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, log of daily reading. So you guys are starting to get the point. You're coming down, you're looking at the best sellers. That doesn't mean you're copying them. Doesn't mean you're copying their title. Doesn't mean they're copying their book. But they're in the spot that you want to be in, okay? So we're just pulling out those keywords. You want to go through, do that for everything you see. Next, let's go back in here and look at the Book Bolt keywords, okay? So we'll go ahead and click search, blood pressure book, okay? Click on search. These are going to bring back keywords maybe that we can use with how many searches per month they get, okay? Blood pressure book right here. So I'm going to add that because that, if you guys notice, gets 544 searches per month on Amazon, okay? So blood pressure book. Blood pressure logbook gets about 285 searches. Blood pressure, book log. I read that too fast. Book log, that's a good one too. Blood pressure book tracker, 255 results. or search volume rather. Blood pressure book tracker. Blood pressure booklet. These are all really good, right? I wouldn't have thought to call this thing a booklet, but if it's a smaller book, that is definitely something that it could be considered. Okay, is it a bracelet? No. Is it a chart? Sort of. It could be a chart, you know, blood pressure chart. So we'll just add that. I know you guys can't see this right now. Blood pressure chart. Okay. Is it a cuff? No. So basically what you're doing, you're entering in a keyword and you're looking at all these keywords. Your job is to come down here and pick relevant keywords and make sure you're looking at this Amazon search volume column, because it's going to tell you, are there people on the other side of the screen that are actively looking? You'll also see, you know, the most frequently used keywords on Amazon here, and you can pick out a lot of different keywords. Blood pressure logbook record or record, okay? You know, so on and so forth. So we have all these keywords. Your job is to go through here and figure it out. So we've done 2 different methods so far. Okay, we've looked at the books that are in the position you want to be in. We've cherry-picked keywords that are relevant to what we created. Next, we looked inside of BookBolt. We went and we looked at the keywords that actively get searched for on Amazon. That's really important, because if you use keywords that aren't searched for, you are not going to get very far. Okay? So we've pulled these keywords. We've put them in a file. It is finally time to upload something. So let me open up a KDP window and let's just walk through the entire process from beginning to end. And then we're going to get into my favorite topic, which is actually selling these books. All right, so now we are inside of the KDP dashboard. You should all be familiar with this. You have Kindle ebooks on the left and paper books right below that. So let's go ahead and click. All right, so we've loaded in the page after clicking on paperback book, and you'll see there's 3 tabs at the top. You should all be very familiar with this, but let's go through filling out these sections, right? So you have 3 tabs: paperback details, the content, and then the rights and the pricing. Now, for the book title needs to match exactly what is on the book cover. So let's go ahead and, again, open up what that looks like. Okay, I've gone ahead and done this one. Let's upload this one. It says Blood Pressure Logbook. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter that as the title. All right, Blood Pressure Logbook. Now, remember when we were looking at these other books that we had open, right after the colon is the subtitle. Now, this is a great place that we can put in keywords for our book, okay? Now, you need to make sure that these are relevant keywords, because we're going to be setting up ads for these books, and this is going to be something that is run against when you set up automatic campaigns. Okay, so but it also needs to make sense, be readable, not keyword stuff. So let's take a look at, again, our interior, if I can bring that up here. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit so we see that this is a blood pressure log, name, date, blood pressure pulse, notes. Okay, so you can put all of this information in here. You have the levels down here. Now let's take a look. Let's move this off the screen. Record up to 4 readings per day for 1 full year. All right, so we have a spot in hours where we can just put whatever dates we want, and we have 100 pages of this, okay? So there's more than a year in here if you wanted to with a note. So this says with space for notes. Let's take a look at this other one. Record and monitor blood pressure at home. So what we'll want to do is we'll want to open up that notepad that we had right here, okay? And we'll want to come back over inside of KDP. We want to make a subtitle that makes sense. So right here we have daily record, readings, monitor, track blood pressure and pulse. So ours doesn't have, it has blood pressure and pulse. So let's go ahead and create a subtitle. So this will be the name of the book, Blood Pressure Logbook. And for the subtitle, we'll say something like record daily. We'll say record and track daily blood pressure and pulse readings with a place for notes, issues, symptoms and doctor appointments. Okay, so now that I just came off the top of my head, it says blood pressure logbook, record and track daily blood pressure and pulse readings with a place for notes, issues, symptoms, and doctor's appointments. Okay, so we're entering in those keywords because they can put whatever they want in the notes section over here as well as down here. Okay, so we're creating a listing where we're using these different keywords. So let's go ahead and see what we use. Blood pressure logbook right here. So we use this. Doctor's appointments. Okay. We put that at the very end. As you'll see, we put symptoms. That's something else we saw. Symptoms. We have issues. Okay. Here's an issue. We didn't put questions, but we did put notes. Okay. Right here. So we're just using keywords that other books are using in our own subtitle. It's readable. You can say it out loud just like we did. Okay? Now, series. Is this book part of a series? No, it is not. You can just completely ignore this. Is this an addition? It is not. It's just a very easy, low-content book. Now, for the author, okay, we have first name, last name. What I like to do is I like to fill out the first name and the last name just so it looks like a readable brand. Okay, so this is going to be your brand name. I would recommend not putting your real name in here because remember, again, you want to build brands on KDP. So taking a look at this, they said D&L Publishing. This one says Sapphire Mountain Press. This one has a real name in it. Okay, this one is Journals for All. Very generic here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come up with something. Remember, this is a blood pressure book. So maybe we say just BP Publishing. Okay, BP Publishing. It sounds like an actual company. In reality, BP blood pressure. Okay, very, very simple. Contributors, you can leave this blank. This is optional. All right, now for the description. The description itself, again, doesn't help you rank on Amazon, but it is going to tell the customer what on earth the book is about that you are selling, but it's also a good way to rank in Google search. Okay, it shows up as the meta description when you're looking on Google or if you are on a mobile phone. So let's just go ahead and put in here. So remember, we have a blood pressure logbook. It is 101 pages. If we go back here, we'll see what their description looks like. A simple blood pressure logbook to keep track of your blood pressure and pulse over a full year. But really, what we're doing in the description is we're just saying what it is we are selling. So we'll say this simple blood pressure logbook is a great place to track and jot down your daily blood pressure and pulse. Let's bring this over and see what else we have. Blood pressure, pulse, AM, PM, and notes. We can say this simple blood pressure logbook is a great place to track and jot down your daily blood pressure and pulse for AM readings as well as PM readings. Fill in the blank each time you note down your BP and add any relevant notes that would be helpful for a doctor's appointment. Okay, again, let's bring up our keywords that we were using. Okay, see what else would make sense here. Doctor's appointments, symptoms, issues, questions, fill in the blank book, and then we have some of these. So logbook, book tracker, booklet chart. So fill in the blank each time you note down your BP and add any relevant notes that would be helpful for a doctor's appointment. What else can we put in here? If you have any symptoms, issues, or questions. If you have any issues, symptoms, or questions, make sure to write those down with your daily blood pressure readings. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and we'll say something like, 101 pages. Maybe we want to say how many lines you have in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Oh, I just lost my spot. So, each page could be a month. Maybe I won't put that in. Again, let's just take a look at what everyone else says. They said convenient 6x9 size, records date, time, so on and so forth. So again, let's go back to KDP, 101 pages. We'll say something like 6x9 size to easily carry with you to appointments or when you are out and about. Maybe we'll say something like includes bread per category, 60 page count, paperback cover. Paperback cover, okay, that's something helpful too. Paperback cover. Now again, when you're writing your description, okay, you can actually use HTML in here. If I don't use HTML, it's just going to basically look like a full paragraph when I publish it. If you guys don't know what that is, make sure you just Google KDP HTML. That will explain how to format this. But that is pretty good for a description. This doesn't have to be that long or complicated. You're telling the potential customer what they are buying. That's it. Okay? Very, very simple. Now we get to publishing rights, okay? This is not a public domain work. We just went through and created it. So you own the copyrights. Pretty much you're always going to be selecting this one right here. Now for the keyword section, okay, we're going to go through this. This is really important that when you fill this out, okay, these 7 boxes, there's 50 characters each, you want to make sure that everything is relevant to what you are selling, because if it isn't and you get to the next step after we publish this, you're going to have issues. Okay, so let's go through what I typically fill these out. So boxes 1 and 2, okay, 1 and 2. These are going to be keywords related to the market. All right, so what does that mean? That basically means who is the buyer for this type of book? Who is the buyer for this book? Okay, so in this might be diabetics. It's a blood pressure log, so it could be anyone in the medical field. You want to come through here and fill this out. So you could just say, in this one, this is a log book, but who is it for? Is it for nurses? Is it for diabetics? You can come in here and look at the reviews and see what people are using this for. Again, they're tracking blood pressure, but you might be able to get a few keywords in here. To my doctor about my blood pressure. So, hey, a doctor could use this, a diabetic could use this, anyone doing their blood pressure. So when you come in here, remember when you're filling these boxes out, they don't have to have any punctuation. So you could just say, doctor, nurse, diabetic, so on and so forth. No punctuation, no commas, nothing like that. Okay, so that's what you want to fill out. I'm just going to put this back in here that says keywords related to the market. Who is the buyer of this book? Fill this out with the keywords that you found. Let me bring it over. Right here, if you found any in the top selling books, remember we have all of these right here. But the boxes 1 and 2 are the keywords related to the market, like who is the buyer of this book. Okay, boxes 2 and 4 are keywords related to the product itself. So 2 and 4, 1, 2, 4, okay. Oh, excuse me. Boxes 3 and 4, if I could speak today, keywords related to the product itself. That's essentially what type of book are you selling? What type of book are you selling? Okay, so that's going to be really easy because we picked out these keywords already. This is going to be a blood pressure book, a blood pressure book log, a book tracker, a booklet, a chart, okay? Blood pressure notes, stuff like that. That's what you want to put in here. So you can come in here, keywords related to the product, what type of book you're selling, blood pressure book, book log, tracker, booklet, chart. Okay, so it would look something like that. Now, yes, you can double up on these keywords. They're not going to help you very much, or try not to. You might just want to do something like this. Okay, blood pressure, book log, tracker, booklet, chart. And if you can come up with more keywords, put them in. Remember, there's 50 characters. You don't have to use them all. You want to make sure they are very laser targeted, very relevant. If they're not, and you go to the next step, which we're going to be setting up, talking about ads, you're going to get bad results. You're going to end up spending more money than you should. So 1 and 2, okay, keywords related to the market. 3 and 4, keywords related to the product itself. Box 5 right here, this is what I like to call description keywords, okay? So this could be, these are descriptions that relate to the book. This could be, if you're doing a book, that would be a great gift, gift, party, favor, stuff like that is what you want to put in here. Again, you don't have to fill it all up, okay? Simple sometimes wins this race. So, but these are going to be right here, the 5th box, description keywords, and the final boxes 6 and 7 are going to be keywords related to the niche. Okay, so 6, 7, keywords related to the niche. So if you are doing a book about blood pressure, what are specific terms that people who are measuring their blood pressure every single day would recognize that maybe not, the average Joe would know about? Those are the keywords you want to put here. Now, I actually went very, very much in depth over doing these keywords inside of BookBolt here. If you go to webinar at the very top, all right, this webinar right here. All right, so this is mostly going to be about keywords and listings and so forth. Watch this if you do have the time. It is, again, very, very long. But just so you guys know, when you are filling out these keyword boxes, this is how I personally do it. Keywords related to the market, keywords related to the product, description keywords, and keywords related to the niche. No punctuation. Make sure all of those are coming from the research that you did. Okay, so you can use all of these in these boxes. This is just how I personally split them up. Okay, now we come to categories. Now, categories, if you are familiar with KDP, which you probably are, and you have clicked this Choose Categories button, I don't know who at Amazon thought this was a good idea, because this is bad. Okay, you could spend all day, literally all day, going through here and trying to decide, what should I pick here? I have absolutely no idea. So there is a tool inside of BookBolt. If we go back to BookBolt here and we go to KDP categories on the left side under research, let's go ahead and click that. It'll open up this page. And I also want you guys to go to Amazon and look at some of the books that we had opened. Okay, so let's just scroll up here. This one right here is doing incredibly well. Okay, 208 reviews. Price pretty middle of the road, and it's selling a lot. So we know that this book is probably in the right category. It's got a lot of reviews. People like it. People are buying it. So what are we going to do here? We're going to scroll down, okay? We're going to look at the product details. This box is something that you probably look at a lot. Medical history and records and heart disease. Now, if you go in and you start looking at KDP, I don't know how you're going to find something that relates to medical history and records and heart disease. So what you'll want to do is you want to open up in BookBolt here, the KDP categories, and we can just copy and paste that book. So let's go ahead and look at that. Medical history. So we'll just type in, medical history. We'll click search, and then we'll see exactly, the relevance of these, but the categories that we can maybe get into. We have nonfiction, medical history. Okay, so that would be a good one. We have nonfiction, medical history and records. Okay, that's where I find it. Nonfiction, medical history and records. So let's go back to KDP. Nonfiction, medical history and records. So we can come in here, choose categories, nonfiction. We will find medical. Be right there. Medical, and then we have medical history and records. Boom. Okay, so one is picked. Now let's go and look at this one. Okay, this is a different book. Scroll down, product details. We'll see that this one is in international or internal medicine and heart disease. Both of them, notice how both of these books that are selling well are in heart disease books. So we can come back here and we can type in heart, nonfiction, health and fitness, diseases, heart. Okay, heart, maybe disease. So nonfiction, medical diseases, nonfiction, health and fitness, nonfiction, medical. It's not infectious disease. So let's just go with this one, okay? Because I think that's a pretty close fit. Diseases, heart. People who are measuring their blood pressure, okay, this would be a good category to be in, probably because they might have heart disease. Heart disease, maybe we'll just type that in. Actually, I just did that. Yeah, so let's go this nonfiction, health and fitness, diseases, heart. You're looking for stuff that would make sense. Now, would it make sense to put a blood pressure logbook in cancer? No, it wouldn't. It would not. It wouldn't make it any sense to put it in cooking. Okay, so hey, blood pressure, it relates to health and fitness, heart disease. Okay. Nonfiction, health and fitness, diseases, heart. So let's find that. So we'll go up here. We are in nonfiction. Okay, the next one is health and fitness. So right here, health and fitness. Let's look at that again. Diseases and then heart. So we'll scroll down. Diseases. And then heart. Okay, so we have our two categories. Very, very easy. Click on save. All right, now is this adult content? Even if your books have swear words on them, chances are it is not adult content. Adult content is really for stuff that would be really, really bad. So like, pornographic content, stuff like that. I would just stay away from it. This does say this book contains language, situations, or images inappropriate for children under 18. But typically, you just want to hit no and save and continue. All right, so we are on this page. This is pretty much the big page you guys want to pay attention to, because the first page, the details, are going to be how you optimize your book, and this one is going to be actually uploading the book itself. So you'll see this. It says, get a free KDP ISBN. Yes, we want that. So we'll click the button, and it just says, hey, they're going to give you a free one, so you want to click that button, and it's going to assign you a free ISBN number. Now, if you're not using KDP, you typically have to pay for these, but Amazon's pretty awesome and just gives you this, which will mean it shows up as independently published. Now, publication date, you can just leave this. It's optional, okay, because it's going to be published on the day you hit publish. And then you have the print options here, okay? So you have black and white with cream paper, black and white with white paper, and color. Remember at the beginning when we were creating these this cover and the paper inside of BookBolt, we selected white paper, so this is what you want to keep it at. Now here's the trim size. You can actually select a different trim size if you want, but we did end up doing a 6x9, and we did a bleed PDF. Remember, we have a PDF ready to upload. So right here, you're just mixing and matching the options that you've already gone ahead and put through. Now you have the paperback cover finish here. This literally doesn't matter. If you've never gotten a KDP book before, I'd probably suggest that you put one up and you buy one yourself in both matte and glossy, but this literally doesn't have any effect. It's pretty much whatever you want. So you have the manuscript here and the book cover. The manuscript, that's your interior file. Okay, so you can just upload the paperback manuscript. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me find it here. This is going to be the combined PDF that we made. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so I've gone ahead and upload that. It's going to say uploading, and this might take a little bit of time. So we'll give it a few seconds, and hopefully, there we go. It's saved it. Now for the book cover itself, don't use this launch cover creator, okay? Because you already have the cover. So you want to come down and select this radio button that says, hey, let's upload one we already have. It's in a PDF. So we'll go ahead and upload that file. All right, so we've selected that, and now it's a bit of a waiting process, right? Because it says it's saved successfully, but you'll see here that it is processing your file. This can take a bit of time. Once it's done, you're going to have to launch this previewer, but if you click that right now, let's go ahead and do that. It's going to say that it's saving, and then it's going to bring this box up that says, hey, it's preparing your files, it's processing the manuscript, it's generating the file, so on and so forth. It says several minutes, so sometimes it can take a few minutes, and sometimes it sits here for a very, very long time. So we'll just give it a while, and when it's up, we'll come back on the computer and keep going. So right now, it's checking for some quality issues, and then it will launch the previewer. All right, so it's finally saving. If you guys are watching this seminar, more than likely I'm either going to speed that up or cut that process out, but it can take a few minutes. So it's automatically gone ahead and launched the previewer. See, here is the front of the page. And if we just look through this, there is our cover page, and then here is the interior of the book. So everything is looking good. All you want to do is go to the right-hand corner. I know it's a little bit off the screen, but you'll click approve. All right, so it's gone ahead and it is approved that. Everything is uploaded here. Looks good. This is going to be your print cost, okay? So $2.15. This is going to depend on how many pages your book is. So this doesn't really matter too much right now, but save and continue. All right, we are on the final page, the paperback rights and pricing. So this is the page where you're going to tell Amazon how much do you want to sell this book for and where do you want to sell it. So I always keep this at all territories, okay? The pricing and royalties, you can come in here and enter in a minimum price of $3.58 or a max of $2.50. Now, when you enter a number in here, it's automatically going to change for these 7 other marketplaces. Now, how should you price your book? Going to depend, right? If you're doing simple books like this, I'd recommend between $5.99 and $7.99. Okay, so simple books, simple pricing. It really depends on the competition in the niche. So if we're looking at these other books we still have open, $6.99. Okay, this one $6.98. This one is $8.95. But again, how many pages? 108. So pretty similar. Okay, this one $8.95. $5.99. So see how they're all sort of in that similar range. These are all $5.99. So what you price your book at, if we put in $5.99 in here, okay, it's automatically going to tell us this is how much it costs to print. This is the royalty that we're going to get for the book. Okay, if you put this at $6.99, you'll see that the 144 changes to 204. If you put it at $7.99, we're going to see, hey, you get an increased royalty the higher you put the price. The higher you put the price, the less books you're typically going to sell. Now, for these easy books, I'll typically go about $5.99 to $7.99, okay? But for the other books, remember how we created that puzzle book? Those you want to price a little bit higher. But again, price to the market, but also keep in mind that if you're going to be running ads, which we're going to talk about in a second here, you need a little bit of cushion to pay for that ad spend. Okay, so for this one, let's just go $5.99. Remember, we can change this. And so we'll get $1.44 per sale. Again, it didn't take us really much time to put this together. And if we can make it sell, we're going to be rolling in this much money every time that it sells. And if you click this down arrow, you'll see what this number equates to in all of the other marketplaces. Okay, so you can sell on the UK, DE, so this is Germany, France, Spanish, Italy, Japan, Canada, and here are the pricing you get for each one. Okay, so this is the minimum price for Japan, so you'll notice that the royalty here is set to 0, so maybe you want to bump it up to, I don't know, 1,000, and all of a sudden you get that much per royalty. Okay, so you'll come in here, you'll say, you'll set your book price to what makes sense in the market. Okay, the market determines the price. You do not. We just took a look at the market. All these books, that's the market. That's what people are actively buying. So that all looks good. And then all you have to do is click publish your paperback book. All right, so we'll just go ahead and click that. It's saving. It is publishing this to KDP right now. And in a minute here, it says save successful. There we go. And this will basically tell you, hey, this is the price, okay, this is the publishing. They're going to review the books to make sure that it meets their guidelines, their quality details. They say that it can take 72 hours to be available. Typically, this process is a lot faster, okay? Give or take, depending on how backed up they are. Could be a few hours, could be a day. Rarely does it take 72 hours, but it does happen, okay? That is the entire process of selling a book on KDP, from doing the research, figuring out what to sell, setting up the actual cover, getting the interior, combining everything, making sure you're doing the research on the keywords, pulling out the keywords that are relevant from the spots that you want to be in. Okay, so You need to sit back and figure out from that entire process, where is something that you can implement into your business, because what you implement might be different than what someone else implements. Everyone is at a different stage. But that's how you get your books online, research books. But when we were going through this, we were looking at Amazon, we were looking at the product search in Book Bowl, we realized there are a lot of different books out there, right? I mean, if we just go over and we look at the Sudoku books, for example, let's go to Amazon. Let's just go to Amazon proper, type in Sudoku books for kids, 1,000 results, right? And this is the one what we saw. So how do we break into a niche like this? I'm going to tell you guys that the money on KDP is not, listen to me when I say that, it is not about putting up as many possible easy books as possible, okay? The money in KDP is through running ads and getting to the top of the search results. I know that spending money sounds like a really scary thing, but we're going to run through ads because they're the secret weapon of KDP. Everyone has access to these things, okay? It's unlike other print on demand. You can run ads on Amazon for your KDP books very, very easily. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk through a way to dominate the front of the search results. Okay, so let's go back to KDP. I'm going to open up an ad page, and we will talk through that. Okay, so I've opened up KDP again. I'm over here, and this is these two books right here are something that I just published a long time ago. They have not sold, but I use them as example purposes. That's why I put them up. I didn't put any effort into them. So we can just go view on Amazon. I'll show you what these look like here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I priced it at $7.99. It's got a workout interior. It makes no sense. That's why it hasn't sold. Okay, my puns are quality, with a workout interior. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, didn't optimize this thing, so on and so forth. But I use it as example purposes because it's really easy to show how these ads work. So in order to create an ad here, okay, so here's the book. You just saw it. It's priced at $7.99. We want to create an ad. To create an ad, you'll go to these three little buttons right here, okay? Once you hover over those, you'll see all of these. You can edit book details, content, so on and so forth. You want to click on Promote and Advertise, all right? So here's the book, okay? My puns are, it says promote your book on Amazon. In order to run an ad campaign, I'm telling you guys, if you run, you're going to be running lots of ad campaigns once you jump into this. But this is one, how you start, how I would go through it. And then once you're running it, you're going to want to run a few different tests. We're going to talk about that. So first, run an ad campaign. If you have never done this before, you will see this. Choose a marketplace. Where do we want to promote this book right here, okay? We want to choose .com, okay? Because we want to promote this book in the US because that's where we think that we're going to get the sales. Now, if you put up a book that was in German, Amazon DE, that's what you want to pick, okay? Because that's where the majority of the people speak German. But this book is in English, so we'll pick .com and click Create an Ad Campaign. All right, so now we are on Amazon advertising here. You're going to have a few different options. You can do lock screen ads. Okay, these ads are based on shoppers' interests when they unlock their Kindle e-readers. Are we doing low-content books on Kindle e-readers? That would make absolutely no sense because the whole point of low-content books is have the user write in them. So you can just disregard lock screen ads. You have sponsored brands, okay? So these are going to show up at the top. But what we are looking for is the first one. Clearly sponsored products. These are going to be in the search results. When I just came over here and put in Sudoku books for kids, see how this says sponsored right here? Sponsored. That's where we want to show up. Notice how it's at the beginning of the search results. If we scroll down here, there's one in the middle, sponsored. Okay, you can see, and there's typically at the end, sponsored, 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 sponsored. That's probably considered the middle because this is a very long page. So they show up in the middle as well. And then they should show up down here at the end, if I can find it. This is a very long page. Here they are. Here's the very end of the page. All of these are sponsored. Okay, so a lot of the results on Amazon are sponsored products. And as the customer doesn't pay attention to this. The customer, if you ask anyone you know that like doesn't sell on Amazon, chances are they have never seen this because they're blind to it. All they see is the products, okay? So knowing that there's sponsored ads up and down the results on Amazon, you can take advantage of this to, one, sell a bunch of books, but also end up ranking your products higher and higher and higher. Because most people that are doing low content books, they're just trying to rely on organic search. But if you can just pay a little bit to have them show up at the very top of the results, and you have a good book with a great cover, you're going to blow past everyone else that's just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. Okay, so we're going to pick sponsored products. Now you can give this a name, okay, so this could be, you know, my name or my puns are sponsored products. You can give this whatever you want. This is basically to help you figure out, hey, if you're running a bunch of campaigns, which campaign is this? Now you'll have a start date and an end date. You want to start on the day that you are going to create the ad, so February 6th is when I'm recording this. You want to add an end date. Trust me on this. I have set up campaigns where I forgot to put an end date, and it's like 6 months go by, and you know, if you're not paying attention, or let's just say you start a bunch of this and for some reason you're not doing KDP for a while, you look at your credit card statement, you're like, oh my gosh, I've spent all this money. It's because you didn't set an end date. Okay, so come in here, set an end date. So I'm going to do, we're going to go back to February. I like to set an end date about a week or 2 weeks out. This gives the campaign long enough to run where you can get the data you need, but it's also not just going to run forever and spend your money. Okay? Set an end date. Please, if you take anything from this, just set an end date. All right. Daily budget. Okay, so they're going to, each one of these things you can click on the little eye or hover over it, and it's going to tell you, hey, you know, you can do this, you can do that. For a daily budget, start really low. So I'm talking about $2 to $5. Okay, the reason you want to do that is you don't want to spend a ton of money. You're going to be paying primarily for data. Okay, so don't think that you're going to start an ad, it's automatically going to be profitable, and everything's going to be right in the world. You're going to rank number one, make a ton of money. No. What you need to think about is, this is a learning experience, okay? So you might lose 20 bucks, okay? Not the end of the world, because you can use that data to then turn around, optimize, and make more money. But start at a low budget. I'm going to start at $2. And every time I start an ad, I will start one as automatic targeting, okay? Because this will allow Amazon to target keywords and products that are similar to the product that you are selling. Now, why would you not do manual targeting right away? You're not sure which keywords will actively lead to sales. So keep it at automatic targeting. And the process of what I like to do is you'll run this for 2 weeks. Okay. You'll come back in, you'll see what keywords have sold, have ended up, you know, running the ad, ending up in a sale, and then you'll take those keywords, just the ones that led to sales, and you'll make a new campaign, and this time you'll pick manual targeting, okay? But start off with automatic because we don't really know what's going to happen. Okay, so the bidding strategy for this book, you can read through these, okay? So you can do dynamic bids up and down, fixed bids, dynamic bids down only. What you want to pick here is dynamic bids down only. Essentially what this is going to do is, if you keep it at dynamic bids up and down, they will raise your bid on you for the CPC. They'll raise that up if they think that they will get a sale from it. What that's going to do is it's going to spend your budget, which is already very low, much, much faster. So pick dynamic bids down only if you're just getting started. If not, read through this and figure out what you want to do. You can also adjust them by placements. This is really, really helpful. Don't really want to go into it too much in detail now. I wrote a very, very, very long blog post on the bookbolt.io/blog about ads. It's like 10,000 words long that goes into really, really great detail about this. But if you guys are just starting, I want you to just set up automatic targeting and down only. That way you stand the best chance at actually making some sales. Okay, so then we'll come down here and we will see the ad format. So you can do custom text ads, you can do standard ads. Okay, this is going to allow you to enter in the text of the ad, or you can just do a standard ad. Okay, if you do custom text ads, you'll see right here, here's some books. These are actually long form books. These are not low content books in this account, but you can see them here, or you can just do a standard ad for the one that we selected to run the ad for. Okay. Let's see here. Settings. Create an ad group. You can create a name, anything you want. This is only visible when you're managing your ads. This is just to help you stack ads on top of each other. And then it's going to ask you, hey, what product do you want to run the ad to? Now, let me go ahead and find that product, and then we'll continue. Then we'll just type in my puns. That was what it is. We'll click on search. And those are the two books, okay? These are what I use for advertising purposes. We'll click on ad. It'll show up, this is the product you're running ads to, okay? And we're just going to do one product to start. Now it's going to say, hey, for this automatic targeting, what do we want to set our default bid at? Okay? A default bid is what you will pay each time someone sees an ad on Amazon and then actively clicks it. So if you see this ad, you say, all right, this one says Rainboku, fun and colorful Sudoku for kids. If you click this, okay, since this is a sponsored ad, if a customer clicks that ad, they're going to end up paying whatever this default bid is. Now you'll see Amazon suggests for this very high bid, okay, $196, and they're going to enter in a default bid here. What I will typically do when I'm running these on really low content books like this is I'll set this to maybe like 30 cents, okay? Now I know they're suggesting higher, but we don't want to spend a ton of money. We just want to get some data, okay? We're not trying to beat everyone else out in the search results. Now you could set this at 196. If you set this at 196 though, remember you set your daily budget $2. The first person that clicks it is going to expend your whole ad budget. So keep that in mind. I usually like to do lower because I have a lower bid. I also have a lower daily spend, or daily budget they call it. And then I'm just gathering data, okay? People that click, if they buy, awesome, made some money. If I get, 10 clicks, I have some data to run against. Now you have negative keyword targeting and negative product targeting. If you want to know about that stuff, read the article that I put out on bookbolt.io. Okay, so let's just go ahead and head over there real quick. Just to show you guys what I'm talking about, if you go to the blog and you type in advertising, click on search. So this right here is going to be the second one. It's going to say the Ultimate KDP Advertising Guide. Go ahead and click that. I have not updated the title, so it'll say 2020, but this article is really, really long, and it's going to tell you some awesome information about how to optimize this stuff. But if you've never run ads before, you guys just follow along here, okay? You set a end date, set a small daily budget, automatic targeting, down only. Standard ad, we added a product here, we set a low bid. You can ignore these for now, and then you would click launch campaign. That's literally how easy this is. You don't have to enter in any keywords or anything like that, because Amazon themselves will run ads on the keywords in your listing. So if you remember back when we were publishing that other book and I was talking about the blood pressure keywords and the back-end keywords and how you don't have to fill out everything because you want everything hyper targeted, because Amazon will run ads against those keywords for you, okay? Now, after you run all of this stuff, I am not going to set this up because this is never going to sell. I just put this up for example purposes. We'll go back here, and in the left-hand menu, once you've run your ad for those week or 2 weeks, what you want to do is a few things. If you don't have very much data in that ad, okay, and you're not getting very many impressions, you want to go in, you want to edit your ad, and you want to increase your CPC, okay? That is going to be the bid that we set to 30 cents. We might want to kick that up about 10%, maybe 10 to 15%. Kick it up, keep running it, see if that helps, okay? If you are getting sales, but you're losing money, go in, okay? Edit that CPC again, drop it by 10 to 15%. You're trying to optimize the automatic ads until you have enough data. Once you've gotten about 5 to 10 sales on that book, remember, you may have lost a little bit of money. That's okay. You're buying data. Once you've done that, come into this page, click on reports, and you want to run a report for the entire length that you have run that ad, okay? You'll get a download, open up the Excel file, pick out just the keywords that led to a sale. Ignore everything else. just the keywords that led to a sale, write all of those down, come back in, launch another sponsored product, okay? So you want to come in here, launch another sponsored product, but this time you're going to click manual targeting, okay? So let's just say we have a bunch of the keywords. We know what's going on, okay? We have all of this. Dynamic bids, down only. We have this over here. Keyword targeting, okay? Choose the keywords. Now you'll see a bunch of suggested here, but keep in mind, we're not actually running to this particular book. You want to enter a list. You want to put those exact keywords. And what I'll do is if I know those keywords lead to a sale, I'll just say for these exact keywords. So these could be, list 1, list 2, list 3. These are the keywords that led to a sale on automatic targeting. You set up a manual campaign just for those keywords, and then you'll start running it, okay? That's all you have to do to explode your sales. You're going to end up spending a little bit of money on that data, but once you have that data and you know what keywords people are searching for on Amazon that lead to sales, okay, and the reason that Amazon's going to have an easy time doing that is because you optimized your listing properly. You just come in here, okay, you set this up. You can change the suggested bid, okay, custom bid. You say, hey, for this keyword, I know exactly what it's leading to, 30 cents. Okay, here's the keywords. You add those keywords over here, okay? You can set up your bids for each keyword if you want, and then you launch the campaign. And I'm telling you, no one else is doing that. And the people that are doing that, some of my friends who are doing KDP and doing very, 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 very well, this right here, if you just spend the time learning easily, this is what gets you ahead of everyone else. This is what every six-figure seller that I know is doing, is just easily running these simple campaigns. Now, yeah, you're probably going to have to run campaigns on more than one book. But that one book, if you do it right, will end up being profitable now and in the future. Because every time you get a sale from one of these keywords that you put up, you're going to go higher and higher and higher in the organic search results. So not only are you paying for sales, okay, but you're also moving up higher in the organic search results. So everyone that's going down the list is buying your book too. So that's the easiest way I know of to run ads. Put this into practice in your business, okay? So get a good grip on how to run these, what you're doing. Run through this article, run through it again if you have to. And once you have it figured out, okay, because let's be honest, the margins on something like this in $6.98, they're very slim. So it might be hard to get a profitable ad right off the bat. It's going to take some testing. But now, let's wrap this up by talking about how to dominate the first page of results. Okay, so you've gone through, you've learned the ads. You might need to come back at a later time and watch this video, but you have to have a good understanding of the ads. Okay, let's look at this page, because this is really good. I typed in Sudoku books for kids. What do you guys notice right here? Okay, so I see sponsored product here. Okay, Rainboku Fun and Colorful Sudoku books for kids. Priced a little higher. Okay, 123 reviews. I see this book right here, sponsored product, and I see this book right here. Okay, same listing as the sponsored product, same listing as that sponsored product. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? Okay. Customers on Amazon, when they search for something and they scroll down and they see these results, chances are about 40 to, I'd say, 50% of people are going to look at the first two results. The first two results are ads, okay? Then they're going to look at past 50%, the 60 to 70, maybe even more, are going to look at just, the top few products, these right here. This product right here, okay, is the same as the sponsored. So you have positions 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3 are the same book. But what if 1 is the same author? Okay, so Rockbridge Press, Zach Guido. Okay, this is how you can dominate the first page of results, and you can use ads to do it. Okay, I started putting this into practice maybe a couple years ago. This works incredibly well, but you have to know how to use ads. So what you need for this method is you need a few things. One, you need 2 books in the same niche targeting the same keywords. So in our puzzle book example or Sudoku books like we're looking at right here, you'd want to create 2 Sudoku books. 2 of them. They're going to have different covers. They will have different Sudokus in the interior, okay? Targeting the same keywords. They won't have the exact same title. They won't have the exact same, cover. They won't have the same interior, but they'll be targeting the same keywords. Okay, so you want to put those both up on Amazon. Okay, so now you have 2 books on Amazon. They are in the same niche. They're targeting the same keywords. And chances are, if you're going into, like, say, Sudoku books for kids, you're nowhere on this first page. Okay, you are absolutely nowhere on this first page. But you've started the process. You have the 2 books. Now what you need to do, okay, is you need to start running ads on one of them. Your goal is to find out what CPC, cost per click, or bid in Amazon advertising, this bid, what bid do you need to have in order to hit the first position? Okay, what is this guy paying? I don't know, right? So one, you'll run a automatic campaign to figure out what keyword is actually leading to sales. That's why it's so crucial to understand how to run ads, because in order to pull this method off, you need to know what keywords are actively working to bring in sales. Once you know that, you can come in and you can set up a manual campaign. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll set this pretty high. Maybe you'll set this like $2, and you'll come back and you'll run an ad campaign on just the one book. Okay, check on Amazon. You'll want to probably use an incognito window, maybe on your phone, but you need to test out what is the max cost per click, or bid as they call it, in order to rank number 1. Once you know that number, let's say, for example, we have a book. Okay, we're just running an ad on one book. It's finally showing up at number 1. Awesome. So this book, in this example, would probably move to the 2nd slot. Why? Because you're outbidding them. You're showing up as number 1. Okay, that's good. You have one book showing up in the first position. Is that going to make you money? I don't know. But right, the goal is to dominate the first page by essentially creating your own monopoly. So now you're showing up in the first position. What you want to do here, okay, is start up another campaign for your second book. You've not run an ad to this book yet, and set the exact custom bid as you did the first book. Why are you doing that? Because that's automatically going to kick this guy off the second position. He's gone, okay? So now, if you check on your phone, you have the first sponsored product ad. You have the second sponsored product ad. And remember, these are 2 different books, probably under 2 different brands. So the customer who comes to Amazon and goes, oh, look at these. You have two different books. They have this illusion of choice, right? They're probably going to end up buying these, one or the other. They think it's a different book. But remember, you were probably smart and did an interior that said, hey, here's my QR code for everything else in the brand, so you're upselling them. But now you have positions 1 and 2. Wouldn't it be nice if you could get the 3rd position here, the organic position? And the way you do that is you just keep these 2, the first 2 slots, you just keep those long enough to make enough sales where each time this makes a sale, it's going to push this book, which in our example is probably way down here or on the 2nd or 3rd page. You just keep these positions rolling until you push that book further and further and further up the search results. Okay? And eventually what you're going to see is that you own the first sponsored product ad, the second sponsored product ad, and this is a great example. I didn't even mean for this to happen, but this is exactly what this person is doing right here with maybe one less step. They own the second sponsored product ad and the first organic result. So if you can pull that off, at the end of the day, you're going to own 1, 2, and 3. And if you know anything about search engine optimization, 1, 2, and 3, that's what gets all the traffic. That's what gets all the clicks. That's what gets all of the sales. Now, not all of it, but in a general sense, they are going to make all of the money. Okay? That's why when I'm saying when you put all this together, it's not necessarily the right response to create a bunch of really, really easy books. You want to create more complicated books, puzzle books, dot-to-dot books, activity books where you combine everything, because you can charge a higher price for it. I mean, just going down this page right here, Sudoku books for kids, here's an $11.57, okay? A price of, this was relatively cheap, $8.99, a little higher, right? $7.99, $8, $9 right here. That gives you a bigger margin, so it's going to give you more money per sale so that you can actually afford to run these type of ads where you can dominate the first page for the same keywords under different brand names to give the customer an illusion of choice. But at the end of the day, no matter if they pick the first one, the second one, the third one, all of that money is going into your pocket and not these guys who are running ads. I mean, yeah, they're on the front page. That's awesome. But most of the sales are coming right here. Okay? So that was a very, very long seminar. I hope you guys got some good information out of that. This ad technique right here has pretty much changed my KDP business. I want you to take something from today, no matter if it is the research process, no matter if it's the design, putting together different things. Take something and implement it into your business. Set realistic goals, okay? Because when it comes to this stuff, don't be doing what everyone else is doing. Yes, we're looking at books on Amazon, but we're coming up with different ways to sell products. We're customizing those products. We're adding different pages. We're adding QR codes. You're doing things different than the run-of-the-mill KDP seller. And those small little things, putting them to action in your business, are what is going to change everything for you. So I'm really hoping that you took something away from today. You're switching your mindset a little bit. The gears are turning. You have some new ideas. Now it's time to turn this off and actually put those into practice. So I know this has been a long one. You guys can come back at any time, watch through this, pause it, stop it, rewind it. We really want to see you guys put this stuff into practice and end up making money from it. So thank you so much for everyone who stuck around to the end. Appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, please let us know. But until next time, you guys have a good one. Thanks.